Chapter 2286. Old Immortal. Mo Qingyun is truly a great threat. Why don't you persuade the two seniors again? Thinking of Mo Qingyun's speed of growth, Ziyun Xiao could no longer remain calm and try to persuade Maelstrom Immortal. Others might not understand Mo Qingyun, but he knew very well that he could not allow him to continue growing. Saint Yun Xiao, let's end this here. Maelstrom Immortal shook his head at Ziyun Xiao's persuasion and rejected his request. After hearing Dao Lord Li Hua's words, his opinion of Mo Qingyun immediately weakened. In his opinion, even if Mo Qingyun was an old monster reborn, there would be a limit to his growth. When Mo Qingyun's cultivation reached a certain limit, it would be extremely difficult for him to improve his strength further. For example, they had already reached the peak of the true Saint realm, but it was extremely difficult for them to enter the Nebula realm. It was probably the same for Mo Qingyun. In this case, the threat that Mo Qingyun posed to them became insignificant. Hearing Maelstrom Immortal's reply, Ziyun Xiao's expression immediately turned ugly, and he was extremely displeased. In his opinion, persuading Qianyo Temple to send someone had already ended in failure. In that case, I'll take my leave first. Seeing that his persuasion had failed, Ziyun Xiao did not want to stay any longer and immediately bid farewell to Maelstrom Immortal. Maelstrom Immortal did not ask Ziyun Xiao to stay and sent him out of Qianyo Temple. It seems that I overestimated Ziyun Xiao. He's just SOSO. Watching Ziyun Xiao leave, Maelstrom Immortal sighed and shook his head, feeling a sense of disdain for Ziyun Xiao. In his opinion, Ziyun Xiao was too cowardly to be so afraid of Mo Qingyun. Maelstrom Immortal sighed and returned to his cave abode to gather his disciples. In Maelstrom Immortal's cave abode, 5 middle-aged men sat on both sides of the cave abode with respectful expressions, waiting for Maelstrom Immortal's orders. Sweeping his gaze over his 5 disciples, the vortex wind Immortal's expression darkened. Heping, tell everyone what you found out. Yes. Heping did not dare to hide anything after hearing Maelstrom Immortal's words and immediately told them what he had found out. According to my previous investigation, this Palace of Fortune is very powerful. There might be several true saints in the sect. It's not something that Junior Brother Wang's family can compare to. It won't be easy for us to deal with it. What? There's a true saint expert in a small city? With the strength of this immortal Palace of Fortune, if it is allowed to develop, it will not be easy to control in the future. If I can recruit the immortal Palace of Fortune for my own use, it should be a good result. It should be more useful than the Wang family. After listening to Heping, the other 4 disciples of Maelstrom Immortal voiced their thoughts. As soon as the 4 middle-aged men finished speaking, Heping continued. Now, all the forces in Qianyo City are under the control of the immortal Palace of Creation. With Mo Qingyun's means and intelligence, it will be extremely difficult to control him. I think it's better to avoid future troubles. Maelstrom Immortal nodded in satisfaction after hearing Heping's analysis. Although I don't know why the Cloud Sky Saint cares so much about Mo Qingyun, I also think that getting rid of Mo Qingyun is the safest way. In that case, let's go to Qianyo City now and get rid of the Fortune Palace. Maelstrom Immortal walked out of the cave abode and prepared to go to Qianyo City immediately. Seeing Maelstrom Immortal's actions, Heping and the others did not dare to hesitate and hurriedly followed him. In the Fortune Palace, while Maelstrom Immortal was rushing to Qianyo City, Qin Tu Mo suddenly came to the Fortune Palace with an urgent look. Knowing that Qin Tu Mo was looking for Mo Qingyun, Qian Ling Long and the others led him to Mo Qingyun's courtyard. Senior, please have a seat. Knowing that Qin Tu Mo had come, Mo Qingyun immediately walked out of the room and greeted him warmly. Senior, you're in such a hurry to find me. Did something happen in the demon-slaying divine palace? No, it didn't. Qin Tu Mo immediately shook his head at Mo Qingyun's guess and said in a low voice, I came to find you in a hurry because I received news a few days ago that the path of the Milky Way is about to descend in advance. It might happen in half a month. The path of the Milky Way is about to descend in advance? Hearing this, Mo Qingyun was immediately surprised and his eyes filled with anticipation. Ever since he obtained great benefits in the land of inheritance of the 1,000 illusions, he was full of anticipation for the path of the Milky Way. He didn't expect that the path of the Milky Way would descend in half a month. In that case, when should we depart? Hearing that the path of the Milky Way was about to descend in advance, Missouri Qingyun was impatient and immediately asked Qin Tu Mo. Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Qin Tu Mo's expression tensed up and he hurriedly said, "According to the path of the Milky Way will descend at the Devil Prison Mountain. It will take about 10 days to reach the Devil Prison Mountain from here, so the sooner we depart, the better." "Okay, I understand," Mo Qingyun responded after hearing Qin Tu Mo's words. He said, "I'll go tell them, and then we'll go to the Devil Prison Mountain together." After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he left the courtyard and went to give instructions to Qian Linglong and the others. Not long after, Mo Qingyun arrived at the conference hall and gathered everyone. "I've called you all here because I have something to tell you," Mo Qingyun briefly explained as he looked at the crowd below. Then he said, "I'm about to go with Senior Qin to a secret place in the outer realm. If the Dark Demon race and the sacred palace of Qianyo invade while I'm away, you must not fight them head-on. Wait for me to come back and make a decision." "Yes." Hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, everyone immediately nodded and took note of Mo Qingyun's words. "Qingyun, I'll go with you." When everyone responded to Mo Qingyun, Qian Linglong softly pleaded with Mo Qingyun with an expectant gaze. Hearing Qian Linglong's words, King Devourer and the others also looked expectant and wanted to go with Mo Qingyun. "No, I can go alone." Mo Qingyun directly rejected Qian Linglong's request and said, "The Dark Demon race and the sacred palace of Qianyo are very powerful. If they invade together, there must be someone here to take charge of the situation. You stay here and watch over the Fortune Immortal Palace for me." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qian Linglong didn't say anything else and followed Mo Qingyun's arrangements. Chapter 2287. As soon as Mo Qingyun walked out of the main hall, he sensed a terrifying aura heading towards the Palace of Creation. Sensing the powerful aura, Mo Qingyun was shocked. He immediately thought of a possibility. The Qianyo Temple and the Dark Demon Clan were here. When Mo Qingyun thought of this, a faint smile appeared on his face. He said, "It's good that they're here early. I don't have to worry about this when I enter the path of the Milky Way." Then, Mo Qingyun moved and appeared in the sky above the Palace of Creation. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Qian Linglong and the others quickly followed and came to Mo Qingyun's side. Then, Mo Qingyun and the others faced off against Immortal Vortex Wind and the others in the air. Ziyan Shao didn't come? Mo Qingyun glanced at the Vortex Old Immortal and the others. We did not see Ziyan Shao. Shock flashed in his eyes. Then, he released a wave of soul power and carefully sensed the surroundings. After coming into contact with Ziyan Shao time and time again, Mo Qingyun instinctively became wary of Ziyan Shao. Ziyan Shao had great endurance and was very careful in his actions. If he took action, he would have a 90% chance of succeeding. Therefore, if Ziyan Shao was hiding in the dark, Mo Qingyun had to be on guard. He had to deal with him carefully. Mo Qingyun's expression relaxed when he sensed that Ziyan Shao didn't come with him. When Mo Qingyun sensed the surroundings, ZK's face flashed with surprise. He looked at Immortal Feng and said, "Immortal Feng, I didn't expect him to come personally. This is going to be troublesome." Although ZK was surprised, he had a strong desire to fight. He wanted to fight Immortal Feng. His opponent was an expert ranked in the top 100 of the Savage Continent. If he could exchange blows with him, it would be a proof of his strength. The Dark Demon Clan? Sensing ZK's gaze, Immortal Vortex Wind looked at ZK with a hint of surprise in his eyes. He thought to himself, the Dark Demon race is really something. They actually planted a spy by Mo Qingyun's side without anyone knowing. At this moment, Immortal Feng felt a strong sense of admiration for the Dark Demon clan's methods. Which one of you is Mo Qingyun? Obediently stepped forward for this old man. After giving ZK a few casual glances, Immortal Vortex Wind shifted his gaze away and questioned Mo Qingyun and the others. Hearing Immortal Feng's question, Mo Qingyun walked out from the crowd. He looked at Immortal Feng indifferently and said, "You are Immortal Feng. Immortal Feng? I was the one who killed your disciple, Wang Quan. If you're here to avenge him, then there's nothing much to say. Let's fight." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he released his aura and assumed a fighting stance. When Mo Qingyun released his aura, Qin Linglong and the others also released their auras and pressed down on Immortal Feng and the others. 16 true saints. Immortal Feng and the others trembled when they sensed ZK and the others' auras. Their eyes were filled with shock. They had originally thought that the number of true saints in the immortal palace of creation was already the limit. Unexpectedly, they had underestimated the strength of the Fortune Immortal Palace. There were more than 10 true saints in the Fortune Immortal Palace. This is troublesome. We underestimated the palace of creation strength. It seems that we all underestimated Mo Qingyun. He is indeed very capable. If that's the case, the Cloud Sky Saints' worries were not unfounded. If that's the case, I'm afraid it's impossible for Mo Qingyun to submit to us. He Ping and the others tensed up when they saw the Palace of Creation strength. Fear flashed in their eyes. They could feel that the auras emitted by ZK and the others were much stronger than theirs. Immortal Feng's expression turned grave when he sensed ZK and the others' strength. He said to He Ping and the others, "Don't panic. Mo Qingyun is a potential threat. Once we start fighting, he might not even know how he died. Kill." After confronting Immortal Feng and the others for a while, Mo Qingyun took the initiative to attack them. He was prepared to kill them all. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, Saint Palace of Qianyu was too strong. Every bit of energy he could consume was worth it. Hearing Mo Qingyun's order, ZK and the others quickly followed and fought with Yiping and the others. "Boy, you want to fight me alone?" Maelstrom Immortal was surprised to see Mo Qingyun rushing towards him. He was very surprised by this scene. After a short moment of surprise, Immortal Feng sneered and said, "Boy, let me tell you clearly. You're the only 9 Heavens Xian Immortal Jr. who dares to fight me in the last 10,000 years. Seeing that you're so brave, I've decided to give you a quick death. Whirlwind Eclipse." Immortal Feng quickly formed a hand seal and pointed at Mo Qingyun when he saw Mo Qingyun rushing towards him. Under the Maelstrom Old Immortal's finger, the winds and clouds began to surge, forming a massive vortex of hurricanes. These whirlwinds were formed and emitted a terrifying aura, swallowing Mo Qingyun and the others. What a powerful aura! Mo Qingyun was shocked when he saw the whirlwinds swallowing him. He immediately shouted to the people around him, "These whirlwinds are very powerful. Retreat quickly and don't let them affect you." Puff! While Mo Qingyun was speaking, one of Gong Pingyang's arms was affected by the shockwave and instantly turned into powder. Gong Pingyang's expression changed drastically when he saw this. He was so scared that his soul left his body. While Gong Pingyang was panicking, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and quickly came to his side. "Retreat quickly." Arriving at Gong Pingyang's side, Mo Qingyun sent a palm strike at him, forcing him to retreat. Gong Pingyang's face was filled with fear as he escaped from the whirlwind after being hit by Mo Qingyun's palm strike. Although Mo Qingyun had pushed Gong Pingyang away, he was swallowed by the whirlwind and disappeared from everyone's sight. "Master!" Gong Pingyang and the others were shocked when they saw Mo Qingyun's action. Their faces were filled with intense worry. While Gong Pingyang and the others were worried, they were touched. In order to save Gong Pingyang, Mo Qingyun did not care about his own life. This action was too admirable. They believed that if they were in the same situation, they would never be able to do what Mo Qingyun did. With his kid's cultivation at the 9 Heavens Xian Immortal Realm, He will definitely die if he falls into my whirlwind eclipse. Seeing Mo Qingyun's situation, Immortal Foam sneered with disdain. So the peerless genius that Zi Yanxiao spoke of is only SOS. You can't even take one of my attacks. How disappointing. Chapter 2288. Since Mo Qingyun is dead, I'll send you on your way to keep him company. Seeing Mo Qingyun being swallowed by the hurricane, Deity Vortex Wind smiled coldly and turned to deal with Qian Linglong and the others. ZK, Han Liu, Qian Linglong, and King Devourer immediately faced Deity Vortex Wind's attack. At this moment, Qian Linglong and the others no longer held back and activated the Saint Power Star Cluster. Suddenly, 4 Great Perfection True Saint Auras were released from Qian Linglong and the others. 4 Great Perfection True Saints. Under the aura of Qian Linglong and the others, Deity Vortex Wind's expression changed, and a trace of shock flashed across his face. Although he had sensed that Qian Linglong and the others were in the true saint realm, he had not sensed their specific realms. Facing Qian Linglong and the others together, even with his powerful strength, he would feel a lot of pressure. If he was the slightest bit careless, he might be defeated by Qian Linglong and the other 3's attacks. Looks like Zi Yanxiao was right. The Palace of Creation is indeed not to be underestimated. It is indeed a great threat. After knowing the strength of Qian Linglong and the others, Deity Vortex Wind gradually believed Zi Yanxiao's words. While Celestial Vortex Wind was still in shock, he looked at ZK with an ambiguous gaze. Fortunately, this expert from the Dark Demon Clan is not a true disciple of the Celestial Palace of Creation. Otherwise, today's situation would be really bad, and I would have to be cautious. Kill. Qian Linglong's expression turned cold as she looked at Deity Vortex Wind coldly and ordered King Devourer and the others. Hearing Qian Linglong's order, King Devourer and the others did not hesitate and immediately attacked Deity Vortex Wind. Wind moving mountains and rivers. Facing the attack of Qian Linglong and the others, Deity Vortex Wind sneered and quickly formed a hand seal. Then, wind and clouds began to gather around him, forming wind dragon shadows and protecting him in the middle. Boom, 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 boom. When the wind dragon shadows appeared, Qian Linglong and the others' attacks neared and landed on the wind dragon shadows one after another. Facing the attacks of Qian Linglong and the others, the wind dragon shadows were instantly destroyed, but they quickly gathered again. Attacks of this level are useless against this old man, said the old man. After blocking the attacks of Qian Linglong and the others, Deity Vortex Wind smiled proudly and said, "If that's all you have, then don't blame me for not being merciful." As soon as Vortex Wind Elder finished speaking, his arms began to move, controlling the wind dragon shadows to attack Qian Linglong and the others. Under the control of Maelstrom Elder Immortal, the wind dragon silhouettes seemed to possess intelligence as they pounced, entangled, and tore at the enemy. Facing the crazy attacks of the wind dragon shadow, Qian Linglong and the others were flustered, but they didn't fall into a passive state. Then, everyone was in a stalemate, and no one could do anything to the other. While the two sides were fighting, Mo Qingyun blocked the attacks of the hurricane vortex and said with a serious expression, "Fortunately, I've cultivated the wild thunder dragon source tyrant body. Otherwise, even with the recovery power of the Genesis bloodline, I would have been seriously injured by the impact of the hurricane vortex." Judging from Deity Vortex Wind's attacks, he must have cultivated a wind elemental technique. He can't defeat me with that. Seeing Deity Vortex Wind's attack, Mo Qingyun sneered and raised his hand to punch the hurricane vortex. Mo Qingyun punched out, and lightning flashed on his fist, producing a terrifying explosive power. Boom! Under the impact of Mo Qingyun's fist, the hurricane vortex immediately exploded and turned into a cloud of pure saint energy. After destroying the hurricane vortex with one punch, Mo Qingyun looked at Deity Vortex Wind with a cold expression and said, Deity Vortex Wind, I've always heard that you're powerful, but it seems like you're just SOSO. Your divine power just now was like scratching an itch to me. Deity Vortex Wind's face darkened when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He felt like he had been slapped in the face by Mo Qingyun. He had just said that Mo Qingyun was too weak and could not withstand a single blow. In the end, Mo Qingyun appeared unscathed and gave him a strong counterattack. It had to be said that the slap in the face was too harsh. You're fine. Deity Vortex Wind was shocked when he saw that Mo Qingyun's breathing was stable and unscathed. He could not help but feel wary of Mo Qingyun. At this moment, he completely understood why Ziyun Shao was so afraid of Mo Qingyun. This kid was indeed strange. He was only a 9 Heavens arcane immortal, but his strength was so terrifying that it defied common sense. You guys keep Deity Vortex Wind busy. I'll go take care of those troublemakers. After mocking Deity Vortex Wind, Mo Qingyun instructed Qian Linglong and the others before he charged toward He Ping and the others. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qian Linglong and the others immediately responded and used all their strength to keep Deity Vortex Wind busy. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he moved and appeared in front of He Ping and the others. Facing the 7-headed green dragon and the others, He Ping and the others were already at a disadvantage, let alone when Mo Qingyun joined the fray. Yin-yang pupils. A cold light flashed in Mo Qingyun's eyes. 2 rays of energy blasted out and instantly pierced through one of the people's heads. Then, that person's aura began to weaken, and his body aged in the blink of an eye. Seeing this, Deity Vortex Wind's face was immediately filled with shock. His old face kept twitching as he exclaimed, "What a domineering superpower!" It seems that the people from the outside world on the Path of Stars used this superpower. Could Mo Qingyun be from the outside world? At this moment, Deity Vortex Wind's mind spun rapidly as he tried to guess Mo Qingyun's background. In his opinion, this was the only explanation that could explain Mo Qingyun's abnormality. Under Deity Vortex Wind's shocked gaze, Mo Qingyun's figure did not stop. He held Tiger Soul and slashed at another person. Rising Dragon Heavenly Blade. Mo Qingyun swung his blade and immediately blasted out a golden dragon shadow, violently pouncing on one of the people. Facing the dragon shadow's blade light, that person's body immediately trembled and froze on the spot for a moment. In just a moment, the dragon shadow's blade light approached and smashed into his body domineeringly. Bang! Hit by the dragon shadow's blade light, that person was immediately sent flying. He spat out blood, and his face was pale. Although this person wasn't killed by Mo Qingyun's attack, he didn't have the strength to fight anymore. Kid, you've gone too far. I'm going to kill you. Seeing Mo Qingyun severely injuring 2 of his disciples in the blink of an eye, Deity Vortex Wind was immediately enraged. He had spent countless efforts to nurture these disciples. In his eyes, they were like his children, now that they had been injured and killed one after another. How could he not be angry and heartbroken? Of course, while Deity Vortex Wind was angry, he also felt some fear. He was wary of Mo Qingyun's strength. Chapter 2289. Old man, don't be in such a hurry. Once I've killed them, I'll send you to join them. Mo Qingyun retorted with an indifferent expression, not backing down in the slightest in the face of the Vortex Old Immortal's anger. After retorting, Mo Qingyun did not waste any more words with Vortex Wind Elder. Instead, he chased after another person. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Vortex Wind Elder's old face trembled. He hurriedly shouted to He Ping and the others, "He Ping, return to the sacred palace of Qianyo immediately. Let me deal with him alone." Vortex Wind Elder had already realized that with the strength Mo Qingyun had displayed, He Ping and the others would only be killed if they stayed. Yes. Hearing Maelstrom Old Immortal's words, He Ping and the others immediately responded and no longer dared to stay. They could already tell that the operation to deal with Mo Qingyun this time was going to come to an end without any results. Immediately, He Ping and the others broke away from the battle and immediately fled out of Cheonyo City. Seeing what He Ping and the others did, Mo Qingyun's eyes turned cold and a mocking expression appeared on his face. He said, "Do you think you can escape from me with your little strength?" As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he moved and chased after one of them. As for the others, they were stopped by the seven-headed green serpent and the others. None of them were able to escape Cheonyo City. After blocking He Ping and the others' escape route, Mo Qingyun and the others attacked with all their might. They killed He Ping and the others in the blink of an eye. All of you deserve to die." Seeing his disciples killed, Vortex Wind Elder was driven mad with anger. He could no longer maintain his rationality. Mo Qingyun did not care about Vortex Wind Elder's anger at all. He charged directly at him. Soaring Dragon Blade. Arriving in front of Vortex Wind Elder, Mo Qingyun swung his blade and blasted out a surging blade light. In the face of Mo Qingyun's blade attack, Immortal Vortex Wind swung his right arm to control a shadow of a wind dragon to meet the attack. Then, the shadow of the wind dragon blocked the blade light, easily neutralizing Mo Qingyun's attack. "Brat, you've come at the right time. You're the one who delivered yourself to me." Seeing Mo Qingyun arrive before him, Vortex Wind Elder's face darkened. He looked at Mo Qingyun and said telepathically, "Fellow from the Dark Devil race, this is the best chance to eliminate Mo Qingyun. What are you hesitating for? Hurry up and kill him." "Me?" Hearing Old Immortal Vortex Wind's voice transmission, ZK's expression froze. He did not understand what Old Immortal Vortex Wind meant. However, after a short moment of surprise, ZK understood. If he wasn't mistaken, the Vortex Wind Immortal must have mistaken him for a spy planted by the Dark Demons. "Old Immortal, attack a little harder. Only then will I have the chance to attack." Understanding Old Immortal Vortex Wind's intentions, ZK transmitted a message to Old Immortal Vortex Wind, asking him to cooperate. Hearing ZK's message, Old Immortal Vortex Wind immediately changed his target and focused his attacks on Mo Qingyun. As Old Immortal Vortex Wind focused on Mo Qingyun, the pressure on ZK was greatly reduced. He moved and charged at Old Immortal Vortex Wind. "Old Immortal Vortex Wind, I'm not a spy from the Dark Demon race. I sincerely submit to my master." Arriving beside Old Immortal Vortex Wind, ZK's lips curled into a cold smile. He raised his hand and blasted at Old Immortal Vortex Wind. Purple Flame, soul-destroying palm. ZK blasted out a palm, and a terrifying wave of saint power erupted from his palm. A palm of purple flames shot out from ZK's palm and smashed into Old Immortal Vortex Wind. Bam! Old Immortal Vortex Wind was immediately sent flying by ZK's attack, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Seeing ZK suddenly turn to attack him, Old Immortal Vortex Wind was livid. He glared at ZK and asked, "Why? Why are you doing this? Are you going to betray the Dark Demon race and kill your own people?" Zi Yunxiao clearly wanted to kill Mo Qingyun, but ZK still helped him. This puzzled Old Immortal Vortex Wind. "No, I'm doing this to protect my people. There are some things that you won't understand." ZK responded calmly to Old Immortal Vortex Wind's question. There was no emotion on his face. After hearing ZK's answer, Old Immortal Vortex Wind's face turned even uglier. He gritted his teeth and roared, "I was careless today, but I'll remember this. I'll pay you back many times over in the future." After Old Immortal Vortex Wind finished speaking, he did not want to stay any longer and immediately flew out of Cheonyo City. He knew that if he continued to fight, he might really die here. Yin-Yang pupils. Seeing that Old Immortal Vortex Wind was about to leave, Mo Qingyun's eyes flashed coldly and blasted out 2 rays of eye power. They were extremely fast and arrived in an instant, blasting into Old Immortal Vortex Wind's sea of consciousness. After using an outer world ability on Old Immortal Vortex Wind, Mo Qingyun took out his God Shooter Bow and shot an arrow at Old Immortal Vortex Wind. Before old immortal vortex wind could recover from the attack of the yin-yang pupils, he was hit by the Saint Force arrow again. Brat, just you wait. Once I recover, I'll bring people to destroy the Palace of Fortune. After being heavily injured again by Mo Qingyun, old immortal vortex wind roared furiously and disappeared in a gust of wind. Mo Qingyun did not chase after old immortal vortex wind's escape. Instead, he smiled meaningfully and said, "The next time you come, it'll be hard to say what the result will be. It'll be hard to say who will live and who will die." Old immortal vortex wind is indeed a famous expert. If I hadn't injured him with a sneak attack this time, the chances of victory would have been 50-50. After witnessing old immortal vortex wind's strength, ZK's face was filled with lingering fear. He felt a great pressure and said, "Master, I need to refine a large amount of divine blood essence for the legacy technique I received. Please allow me to continue cultivating." All right. Mo Qingyun did not reject ZK's request and nodded without hesitation. The stronger ZK was, the better it would be for the immortal palace of creation. After a brief conversation with everyone, Mo Qingyun said to Han Liu, "Take a few people and clean up the battlefield. The rest of you can return to the Palace of Fortune." Mo Qingyun returned to the Palace of Fortune as soon as he finished speaking. After Mo Qingyun returned to the Palace of Fortune, he separated from the rest and returned to his residence. "Young friend Mo, who were the invaders just now?" Seeing Mo Qingyun return, Qin Tulu was curious and hurriedly asked Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun did not try to hide the truth. He answered truthfully, "Some people from the sacred palace of Qionyou came to invade, but we've already repelled them. Let's set off now." Qin Tulu's expression immediately changed when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He was even more in awe of Mo Qingyun. Chapter 2290. In the meeting hall of Qionyou Sacred Palace. After escaping from Qionyou City, Immortal Vortex Wind hurriedly returned to Qionyou Sacred Palace and summoned everyone to the meeting hall. Under Immortal Vortex Wind's summons, the Golden Eye Human Emperor, Tao, Lordly Fire, and the elders immediately came to the meeting hall. "Old Immortal, you're injured?" Seeing Immortal Vortex Wind in the hall, the Golden Eye Human Emperor's expression changed and shock appeared on his face. In his impression, Immortal Vortex Wind had not been injured for a long time, let alone to be injured so badly. Tao, Lordly Fire, and the others were shocked when they discovered the injuries of the Whirlpool Old Immortal. They were shocked by this scene. In their opinion, with Immortal Vortex Wind's powerful strength, there were very few people in the Qionyou Sacred Palace who could injure him. In this way, this matter was a little strange. "Old Immortal, who injured you? Could it be the old fogies from other sacred prisons?" After sizing up Immortal Vortex Wind, Tao, Lordly Fire was puzzled and asked Immortal Vortex Wind. "No." Immortal Vortex Wind shook his head when he heard Tao, Lordly Fire's question and said, "The person who injured me this time was Mo Qingyun from the Palace of Creation and some other experts from the Palace of Creation. We have underestimated the Palace of Creation. It is a great threat to Qionyou Sacred Palace." "What? The person who injured you was Mo Qingyun?" Immortal Vortex Wind's answer stunned Golden Eye Human Emperor and the others. They found it unbelievable. They did not expect that there would be such an expert in the Palace of Creation. Under everyone's shocked gazes, Immortal Vortex Wind's face was filled with grief and indignation. He said in a low voice, "One of my registered disciples in Qionyou City was killed by Mo Qingyun. Originally, I wanted to take action personally and avenge my disciple, but I didn't expect the Immortal Palace of Creation to be so powerful. There were a total of 16 true saints who fought with us. 4 of them were at the Great Perfection True Saint Realm. Under their strong attacks, the few disciples who were with me were all killed. If I had not escaped fast enough, I would have been left there as well." The hall instantly fell silent at Vortex Wind Elder's words. Everyone's eyes widened. This news really shocked them and made them feel a heavy pressure. It's hard to believe that a new force could be so powerful. It seems like the Cloud Sky Saint was not lying. The immortal palace of creation is indeed a great hidden danger. Although the immortal palace of creation is not weak, it is far from enough to fight against the sacred palace of Chionyo. In an instant, the elders of Sacred Hall of Chionyo Temple all revealed furious expressions. Just as the elders were feeling displeased, the golden Iron Huang's expression turned serious. He hesitated and said, "The path of the Milky Way is about to descend. If we deal with the immortal palace of fate now, we will miss the time to enter the path of the Milky Way." Everyone in the hall fell silent when they heard what the golden human emperor said. Hesitation appeared on their faces. This was indeed a difficult choice to make. There's no need to rush to deal with the immortal palace of creation. They can't run away anyway. It's more important to enter the path of the Milky Way first. Just as everyone was hesitating, Tao Lord Li Hua suggested, when we come out of the path of the Milky Way, our strength will increase to another level. It will be easier to deal with the immortal palace of creation. Entering the path of the Milky Way is a serious matter. There can't be any mistakes. I can only inconvenience you for now. After hearing Tao Lord Li Hua's suggestion, the golden human emperor showed an apologetic expression. He comforted Vortex Wind Elder and said, "Old Immortal, your injuries are not light. Don't follow us into the path of the Milky Way. Stay and guard Sacred Palace of Chionyo Temple." All right. Although Vortex Wind Elder was a little displeased when he heard the golden human emperor's arrangement, he still nodded in agreement. The path of the Milky Way was very dangerous. It was indeed not a wise choice for him to enter in his current state. After settling Vortex Wind Elder's matter, the golden human emperor glanced at everyone and said, "In that case, everyone should go back and prepare. We will set off for the Demon Prison Mountain tomorrow." After listening to the golden human emperor's instructions, everyone left one after another to prepare for the Demon Prison Mountain. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 days had passed. Mo Qingyan and Tao Lord Li Hua hurried day and night until they arrived at a mountain range shrouded in black mist. This was the Demon Prison Mountain. Young friend Mo, this is the Demon Prison Mountain. Standing in front of the Demon Prison Mountain, Qin 2Mo gave a simple explanation. The Demon Prison Mountain is very dangerous. It is said that many ancient demons are sealed here. When we enter later, you must follow me in order to avoid triggering any ancient taboos. All right. Mo Qingyan nodded and remembered Qin 2Mo's advice. He raised his vigilance in his heart. Whether or not there were ancient demons sealed here, it was never a bad thing to be careful when entering the Demon Prison Mountain. After warning Mo Qingyan, Qin 2Mo wasn't in a hurry to enter the Devil Prison Mountain. Instead, he said to Mo Qingyan, "Before I go to the immortal palace of creation, I made an appointment with a few old friends to enter with them. Let's wait for them here." Okay. Hearing Qin 2Mo's words, Mo Qingyan nodded without any dissatisfaction. Both the Demon Prison Mountain and the Star River Path were very dangerous. It was good to have a few more people traveling together. Then, Mo Qingyan and Tao Lord Li Hua waited at the foot of a mountain for Qin 2Mo's old friends to arrive. Qin 2Mo's old friends were relatively punctual. It didn't take long for them to arrive one after another. Qin 2Mo's friends were all very powerful. They were all at the Great Perfection False Saint realm. It seemed that they were the same as Qin 2Mo. Their luck wasn't particularly good, and they hadn't obtained any outer realm cultivation methods. "Brother 2Mo, sorry to keep you waiting." A middle-aged man in a purple robe with a humble expression cupped his hands towards Qin 2Mo. After greeting Qin 2Mo, this person glanced at Mo Qingyan and then looked away. Presumably, in his opinion, Mo Qingyan was just a junior who came here to see Qin 2Mo off. Just a while ago, Qin 2Mo responded politely to the purple-robed old man's words. He pointed to Mo Qingyan and introduced, "Let me introduce you. This is little brother Mo Qingyan. I'm going to take him to the Star River Path. He's going to go with us? Brother 2Mo, you know the dangers of the Star River Path. I'm afraid this is a bit inappropriate." Once we enter the Star River path, we can't even protect ourselves, let alone take care of a junior. I don't agree with this. I don't agree either. Hearing Chin Tumo's words, the three immediately showed dissatisfaction. They were very opposed to Chin Tumo's plan. Mo Qingyan didn't care about the attitude of the three people. He stood to the side calmly. Chapter 2291. Friends, you may not know, but little friend Mo isn't an ordinary person. Seeing his three friends' reactions, Chin Tu Mo immediately explained, knowing that the three of them had misunderstood. Presumably, in the eyes of these three people, Mo Qingyun was a junior who wanted to follow them and fish in troubled waters. When the three heard Chin Tulu's words, their expressions changed, and they looked at Mo Qingyun in a different light. Seeing the reaction of his three friends, Chin Tu Mo smiled faintly. How could I not know the dangers of the Devil Prison Mountain and the Path of the Stars? Little friend Mo is just an ordinary junior. Do you think I would take him in? The three looked at each other, knowing that they might have misunderstood. Brother Mo is right. Little friend Mo doesn't have any means to protect himself. Why would he bring him along? We were indeed rash in this matter. I would like to apologize to little friend Mo for our actions just now. In that case, let's not waste any more time. Let's enter the Devil Prison Mountain immediately. After hearing Chin Tulu's explanation, they accepted Mo Qingyun's request to travel with them out of respect for him. Seeing that they had accepted Mo Qingyun, Chin Tu Mo nodded in satisfaction and introduced the three to Mo Qingyun. Little friend Mo, let me introduce you to the next three. The one in purple is Tang Nye, the burly man in cloth is Hua Kuan, and the last one is fellow Taoist Ko Xian. Nice to meet you. After listening to Chin Tu Mo's explanation, Mo Qingyun nodded humbly and greeted the three. The three nodded in response to Mo Qingyun's greeting. They were acquainted with Mo Qingyun. Next, they entered the Devil Prison Mountain and arrived at a dilapidated land. After entering the Devil Prison Mountain, Mo Qingyun immediately sensed an oppressive aura. What a powerful oppressive aura. Even an ordinary pseudo-saint would feel great pressure. Enveloped by the oppressive aura, Mo Qingyun frowned and was surprised. While Mo Qingyun was surprised, Chin Tu Mo and the others immediately released their auras to resist the oppressive aura. When Tang Nye and the others saw that Mo Qingyun was unaffected by the oppressive aura, without releasing their auras to resist, they immediately thought highly of Mo Qingyun. It seemed that Mo Qingyun was indeed extraordinary and had some extraordinary aspects. Next, everyone resisted the oppressive aura as they moved deeper into the Devil Prison Mountain. Along the way, Tang Nye revealed an excited expression and said with anticipation, I heard some time ago that someone obtained a cultivation method from the outer world on the Path of the Stars, allowing their strength to skyrocket. I hope we can obtain one this time as well. Hearing Tang Nye's words, Ko Xian's eyes flickered and anticipation appeared on her face. She said, if we obtain the outer world cultivation method, our strength will skyrocket. We won't even need to fear Cheonyo Temple. Hearing their words, Mo Qingyun shook his head. He didn't think so. He knew very well how powerful the Cheonyo Temple was. It was definitely not something that ordinary forces could contend with. With the strength of a mortal vortex wind and the others, even if Tang Nye and the others condensed the Saint Power Star cluster, they wouldn't be a match for them. At this moment, while Mo Qingyun and the others were talking, a loud noise suddenly sounded. Immediately after, the surroundings of Mo Qingyun and the others began to change. Oh no, we've triggered the primordial taboo. I hope the primordial troll hasn't been released. Seeing this scene, Ko Xian's pretty face immediately changed, and she said worriedly, sometimes, the more you worry about something, the more likely it is to happen. Under the gaze of Mo Qingyun and the others, a terrifying black shadow appeared in front of them. Oh no, it's the primordial troll. We're in trouble. Everyone, run forward quickly. As long as we enter the Star River path, we can get rid of this guy. That's right. There are many powerful demonic beasts on the Star River path. We can use them to stop the primordial troll. Looking at the primordial troll in front of them, Mo Qingyun's expression also tensed up. A hint of fear flashed in his eyes. This guy's aura was comparable to a mortal vortex wind. The three of you, retreat with little friend Mo first. I'll cover the four of you. Looking at the primordial troll in front of him, Qin Tumo's expression was solemn as he instructed Mo Qingyun and the others. Seeing Qin Tumo's actions, Mo Qingyun frowned and prepared to stay behind to help him. Before Mo Qingyun could speak, he was grabbed by Hua Koen. Little friend Mo, let's go first. 2Mo is the strongest among us. There won't be a problem if he stays behind to cover the retreat. Seeing the actions of Hua Koen and the others, Mo Qingyun hesitated for a moment before leaving with them. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, Qin 2Mo had already condensed the Saint Power Star Cluster and should have no problem protecting himself. At this moment, while Mo Qingyun and the others were escaping, Qin 2Mo released the Saint Power Star Cluster. It seems to be the Saint Power Star Cluster. Big Brother 2Mo obtained an outer realm cultivation method. When did he get it? How come I didn't know at all? Let's not worry about that for now. Let's leave this place first. That's right. Big Brother 2Mo cultivated an outer realm cultivation method. He'll be fine. Seeing Qin 2Mo's performance, Tang Nye and the others were shocked and quickly fled with Mo Qingyun. Tang Nye and the others were clearly very familiar with the Devil Prison Mountain. They didn't lose their way as they ran. Not long after, under Tang Nye and the others' frantic rush, they arrived in front of a cliff. At the bottom of the cliff, Mo Qingyun could see countless stars dotting the endless darkness. Let's go down. Arriving in front of the cliff, Tang Nye and the others didn't hesitate at all and immediately jumped down. As soon as Mo Qingyun jumped into the cliff, he sensed a surge of spatial energy enveloping them. Then, Mo Qingyun's vision blurred, and he arrived in a brand new world. After entering this world, Mo Qingyun clearly felt that his pressure was suppressed. Seeing Mo Qingyun's surprised expression, Tang Nye said with a solemn expression, "This is the path of the galaxy. The laws of this world are different from the wasteland continent. Therefore, after coming here, our strength will be greatly limited." I see. After listening to their explanations, Mo Qingyun revealed a look of understanding. He had a general idea of the reason behind this. After explaining to Mo Qingyun, Tang Nye showed a lingering expression and said to Mo Qingyun and the others, "We'll wait here. If nothing unexpected happens, Big Brother 2Mo should be here soon." Mo Qingyun and the others didn't wait for long before they saw a wretched figure staggering towards them. Chapter 2292. Qin 2Mo was injured. Looking at his current appearance, his injuries seemed to be very serious, almost to the point of damaging his cultivation foundation. Seeing that Qin 2Mo was injured, Mo Qingyun immediately went over and helped Qin 2Mo sit down. "Your injuries are very serious. Quickly take this pill and cultivate to stabilize your injuries." As Mo Qingyun spoke, he took out a pill surrounded by Saint Power and handed it to Qin 2Mo. Looking at the pill, Mo Qingyun handed over. Qin 2Mo immediately took it and swallowed it without hesitation. Then, Qin 2Mo closed his eyes and wholeheartedly focused on healing his injuries. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Tang Nye and Hua Koen's eyes flashed as if they were communicating with their eyes. The two exchanged a look and retreated with Xin, as if they didn't want to disturb Qin 2Mo's cultivation. Mo Qingyun didn't care about Tang Nye's departure and indifferently guarded Qin 2Mo's side. Next, Mo Qingyun guarded Qin 2Mo, allowing him to cultivate and heal in peace. While Qin 2Mo was healing, Tang Nye and the others came to a remote place, avoiding Mo Qingyun's detection. Qin 2Mo obtained an outer realm cultivation method and didn't share it with the three of us. I think that's too much. Tang Nye, you're wrong. We wouldn't share a peerless treasure like an outer realm cultivation method. Sister Coxn, you can't say that. Maybe when Qin 2Mo obtained the Outer Realm cultivation method, he happened to be training with us. Did the two of you see clearly the medicinal pills that Brat took out just now? That's a rare upper-grade saint pill. If I'm not wrong, that kid should have obtained an Outer Realm treasure. Otherwise, it's impossible for him to have such a treasure. Maybe that kid has an Outer Realm secret manual. That's a huge treasure. Tangya, Huakuan, do you two want it? That's right. With Qin 2Mo's current injured state, even with that kid, he's definitely no match for us. No, I can't do that. If I do, I'll always be condemned by my conscience. After the three of them discussed, Coxin rejected the two suggestion, revealing a conflicted expression. Seeing Coxin's behavior, Tang Wulin and Yet Theon exchanged a look, and a wisp of fierce light flashed in their eyes. Sister Coxin, listen to us first. We only want the cultivation method. We won't harm brother 2Mo. Looking at the struggling Coxin, Tang Ye's expression was gloomy and cold as he earnestly persuaded her. In the process of Tang Ye's persuasion, he slowly approached Coxin, while Hua Kun walked behind Coxin. Attack! Seeing that it was about time, Tang Ye's gaze turned cold as he coldly shouted at Hua Kun. Then, Tang Wulin and Ye Tian attacked Coxin at the same time. Bang bang! Facing the sudden attack of Tang and Ye, Coxin was caught off guard and was immediately hit by the two. After being ambushed by Tang and Ye, Coxin's pretty face immediately turned pale. She spat out a large amount of blood and said angrily, "You two shameless villains! How dare you be so cruel and merciless? You'll definitely die a horrible death. Oof. Before we die, we'll get rid of you first." Tang and Ye Tian didn't care about Coxin's angry words at all. They sneered and attacked Coxin. Facing Tang and Ye Tian's actions, Coxin's pretty face immediately tensed up. She revealed a resolute expression and shouted, "Brother 2Mo, you two hurry up and leave. Tang Ye and Hua Kun are plotting against you." As Coxin shouted in anger, her figure flashed and fled in the opposite direction. Seeing Coxin's actions, Tang and Ye Tian's expressions turned cold as they released a strong killing intent. Coxin's shout now put them in a passive position. If they chased after Coxin, Mo Qinyun and Hua Kun might take the opportunity to slip away. But they were about to deal with Qin 2Mo, so they obviously couldn't chase after Coxin. It was hard to vent the anger in their hearts. Let's deal with Qin 2Mo first. Don't worry about that bitch Coxin. It won't be too late to deal with her later. Tang and Ye Tian discussed and came to a decision. They were going to deal with Mo Qinyun and Hua Kun first. Then, Tang and Ye Tian hurried over to Mo Qinyun's side, afraid that Mo Qinyun and Hua Kun would immediately escape. When Tang and Ye Tian approached, Mo Qinyun opened his eyes, which flashed with a sharp light. In order to save the three of them, Qin 2Mo didn't hesitate to risk his own life to block the primordial demon alone, giving everyone time to escape. But in the end, Qin 2Mo was injured while blocking the primordial demon, and they actually coveted Qin 2Mo's cultivation method and wanted to kill him and steal it. This kind of behavior was too shameless and inhumane. The only thing that made Mo Qinyun feel a bit better was that Coxin wasn't so bad. She didn't let her conscience be clouded by benefits. "Little friend Mo, I'll have to trouble you again this time." Hearing Coxin's reminder, Qin 2Mo also withdrew from his cultivation and looked at Mo Qinyun with a wry smile. In his current state, he was absolutely no match for Tang and Ye Tian unless he and Ye Tian perished together. Fortunately, he had Mo Qinyun with him. Otherwise, he really would be in trouble. "Don't worry, they're just two clowns. I can destroy them with a wave of my hand." Mo Qinyun didn't care at all about Qin 2Mo's ashamed words and calmly comforted him. While Mo Qinyun and Hua Kun were talking, Tang and Ye Tian arrived and walked over step by step with cold smiles on their faces. Seeing Tang and Ye Tian approach, Qin Tuomo stood up with a solemn expression and shouted, Tang Nya, Hua Kun, what did you two do to Coxin? If anything happens to her, this old man won't forgive you. Qin Tuomo, you should worry about yourself first. Do you think you can still leave here alive today? Hua Kun sneered at Qin Tuomo's question with a disdainful smile. Tang Nya sneered and said, Qin Tuomo, don't try to bluff. If we didn't know about your injuries, we wouldn't have dared to attack you. You are really hopeless. Qin Tuomo's face immediately turned ashen. Then, a mocking expression appeared on his face. Do you really think that I can't deal with you now that I'm seriously injured? Are you still counting on him? Seeing Qin Tulu's reaction, Hua Kun smiled disdainfully and pointed at Mo Qinyan. In his view, Qin Tuomo's only support was Mo Qinyan. No need to waste words with him. In order to prevent any more trouble, let's deal with him first. Before Hua Kun finished speaking, Tang Nye's expression became urgent. He urged the former and said, Qin Tuomo, since we were friends in the past, after we kill you, we'll give you a grand burial. In addition, we will also kill Coxin and let her accompany you as a pair of lovebirds. Chapter 2293. Aunt, you're courting death. Seeing Tang Nye and Hua Kun's attack, Mo Qingyun's eyes turned cold. He raised his hand and punched towards Tang Nye. A terrifying flame energy gathered in Mo Qingyun's palm and crushed towards Tang Nye like a huge mountain. How can this be? How can he be so strong? Seeing the huge flame palm that covered the sky, Tang Nye was so scared that his expression trembled. His eyes flashed with intense shock. Mo Qingyun's palm was too strong. It was so strong that he couldn't even resist. He could only watch the huge palm approach. When Mo Qingyun attacked Tang Nye, Hua Kun's attack approached. He looked at Mo Qingyun in shock and said, This kid is so strong. I have to kill him in one blow. I can't give him a chance to fight back. Hua Kun knew very well that if he gave Mo Qingyun a chance to fight back, he would be in a passive situation. Whether or not they would be able to leave this place alive would depend on whether or not his attack could severely injure Mo Qingyun. Kid died. Seeing himself approaching Mo Qingyun, a cold smile appeared on Hua Kun's face. He waved the hammer in his hand and smashed it towards Mo Qingyun. Under Hua Kun's swing, the hammer immediately bloomed with dazzling golden light and transformed into a huge tiger shadow. Break! Looking at the tiger shadow that pounced towards him, Mo Qingyun's face was indifferent. He punched towards the tiger shadow. After Mo Qingyun punched out, a huge flame fist the size of a mountain shot out from his fist. Boom! The huge flame fist smashed onto the golden tiger shadow and immediately exploded with a shocking sound, forming a terrifying energy storm. When the energy storm erupted, cracks began to appear on the golden tiger's shadow. Following that, the golden tiger's shadow exploded and a ball of flame energy burst out from it. When this flame energy erupted, it charged toward Hua Kun and sent him flying in a domineering manner. Puff! Hit by the flame energy, Hua Kun was immediately heavily injured. He spat out a large amount of blood. After being heavily injured by Mo Qingyun's punch, Hua Kun's expression immediately changed. Intense shock appeared in his eyes as he said, This kid is so strong. I'm definitely not his match. I have to leave this place immediately. With that thought in mind, Hua Kun didn't dare to stay any longer. He immediately fled towards the back. Looking at Hua Kun, who wanted to escape, Mo Qingyun's face filled with disdain. He sneered, Since you chose to attack me, then you should accept the revenge. Stay here obediently and die. Inyang eyes. As Mo Qingyun spoke, a cold glint flashed in his eyes. Two beams of light shot out from his eyes. Because the speed of the light was extremely fast and the distance between the two was too close, Hua Kun didn't even have time to react, let alone dodge. Boom! The Inyang vision was the first to arrive. It blasted into Hua Kun's sea of consciousness, heavily injuring their primordial spirits. With his primordial spirit heavily injured, Hua Kuin's expression immediately went blank. His consciousness momentarily fainted. Before Hua Kuin could regain his consciousness, the young eyes approached and domineeringly pierced through his head. Ew! With his head pierced through, Hua Kuin's eyes widened. He looked at Mo Qingyun with an unwilling expression. He never would have thought that he wouldn't even be able to block a single attack from Mo Qingyun. Hua Kuin is dead. Seeing Hua Kuin killed by Mo Qingyun in an instant, Tang Nye was so frightened that he was fuming. He hurriedly begged Qin, 2Mo, big brother 2Mo, I was wrong. Please spare Boom. Before Tang Nye could finish speaking, he was hit by the flame palm and directly smashed into the ground. Under the attack of the flame palm, a large hole was blasted open in the ground. A violent cloud of dust rose up. Seeing this, Qin 2Mo couldn't help but sigh. Who would have thought that after we've known each other for over 100,000 years, they would actually do something like this just because of an outer realm cultivation method? It's really hard to accept. There's no knowing what's in a person's heart. Who can see it clearly? Hearing Qin 2Mo's words, Mo Qingyun calmly shook his head at him. However, time reveals a person's heart. No matter how well they pretend, they'll eventually give themselves away. They've already gotten what they deserve. Young friend Mo, thank you. After hearing Mo Qingyun's words of consolation, Qin 2Mo was immediately moved. He thanked Mo Qingyun and said, to be able to meet you is my greatest fortune. The heavens have treated me well. All right, let's not talk about these things. Find a place to recover first. In response to Qin 2Mo's gratitude, Mo Qingyun indifferently waved his hand and instructed Qin 2Mo. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qin 2Mo immediately nodded and walked to the side to continue healing. As Qin 2Mo continued to heal, the surrounding dust slowly dissipated, revealing Tang Nye's figure. His clothes were tattered, his hair was disheveled, and his aura was weak. It seemed that he wouldn't live for long. Looking at Tang Nye in the large hole, Mo Qingyun's gaze turned cold. He slowly walked over and said, since you've already become a cripple, I'll send you on your way to accompany Hua Kuin. As Mo Qingyun's words fell, he no longer hesitated and directly slammed his palm towards Tang Nye. Immediately, a terrifying force gathered in Mo Qingyun's palm and crushed towards Tang Nye. Boom! Under the bombardment of Mo Qingyun's palm, Tang Nye's body immediately stiffened, and the aura on his body dissipated. After killing Tang Nye with one palm, Mo Qingyun glanced at their corpses and revealed a thoughtful expression. He thought to himself, I have nothing to do while guarding Senior 2Mo's recovery. Why don't I refine the two of them into spirit puppets? They'll be of more help in the future. Tang Nye and Tang Nye were both at the peak of the false saint realm. If they were refined into spirit puppets, they would indeed be a powerful force. The path of the Star River was full of danger. With two more powerful spirit puppets accompanying them, they might be able to play an unexpected role. Thinking of this, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and took the two corpses to his side. After taking the two corpses to his side, Mo Qingyun began to refine them. An imposing flame power shot out from Mo Qingyun's palm and wrapped around the corpses of Tang Nye and Tang Nye. Then, Mo Qingyun controlled the fire of civilization and refined the two corpses. With the experience of refining Qin Hong's corpse, Mo Qingyun was now very familiar with refining them again. If I help them condense the Saint Power Star Cluster, won't the battle strength they can display be even more powerful? While Mo Qingyun was refining the two corpses, a light suddenly flashed in his mind, and a bold idea popped up. With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately implemented it. Chapter 2294. Under Mo Qingyun's attempts, specks of violent light began to condense around the bodies of the two. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun's face immediately lit up with joy. He revealed a brilliant smile. It's a success. It actually works. Seeing that his attempt had succeeded, Mo Qingyun put in even more effort, refining the corpses of the two. Under Mo Qingyun's refinement, Saint Force star cluster after Saint Force star cluster formed around the corpses of the two. Time passed as Mo Qingyun continued to refine the sword. Several days later, Mo Qingyun stopped what he was doing. Under his frantic refinement over the past few days, the Saint Force star cluster had been condensed to the extreme. Each of them has condensed over 200 of them. This way, their battle prowess should surpass Qin Hong's puppets. Looking at the Saint Force star cluster around the corpses of the two, Mo Qingyun's face was full of smiles. His eyes also flashed with anticipation. With the help of these two soul puppets, he would have a great guarantee on his journey to the Star River. After refining the Saint Force star cluster of the puppets, Mo Qingyun did not stop there. He began the final refinement. At the final step of the refinement, Mo Qingyun's expression became tense. His heart also became heavy. He knew very well that before the puppets survived the heavenly tribulation, all efforts would be useless. The spiritual puppets' tribulation will cause quite a disturbance. I have to leave this place, Mo Qingyun thought. He left with the two puppets, putting some distance between himself and Qin Tulu. However, although Mo Qingyun had distanced himself, Qin Tulu was still within his senses. Rumble, dark clouds quickly gathered above Mo Qingyun, producing muffled sounds. Sensing the power of thunder in the sky, Missouri Qingyun's expression tensed up. Shock flashed in his eyes. He said, "The power of thunder in the Milky Way seems to be much stronger than in the Wasteland continent. I wonder if the two spiritual puppets can make it through." Sensing the power of the tribulation clouds, Mo Qingyun's expression became even more tense. He could not help but furrow his brows. He was wondering if there was any way to help the two puppets easily overcome the tribulation. While Mo Qingyun was pondering, two bolts of lightning as thick as buckets struck the two puppets. Rumble, rumble. When the lightning struck the puppets, it produced a deafening sound and swallowed the two puppets. Looking at the lightning that enveloped the puppets, Mo Qingyun's eyes lit up. He had a bold idea. These two bolts of tribulation lightning are extremely powerful. If I use them to cultivate the berserk lightning draconic source tyrant body, will yield twice the results with half the effort? As soon as this thought appeared in his mind, Mo Qingyun couldn't wait to give it a try. Drawl, Mo Qingyun's figure moved. He came to the two puppets and drew the tribulation lightning to himself. If there were others here who saw Mo Qingyun's action, they would be scared silly. Others would avoid the tribulation lightning, but he actually took the initiative to attract it to himself. This was simply the behavior of a madman. Refine. After drawing the tribulation lightning to himself, Mo Qingyun's expression became serious. He immediately activated the berserk lightning draconic source tyrant body. With the activation of the berserk lightning draconic source tyrant body, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate anymore. He immediately began to refine the tribulation lightning. While Mo Qingyun was refining the tribulation lightning, a terrifying power of lightning began to temper his body. Enduring the tempering of the tribulation lightning, Mo Qingyun immediately felt that the strength of his body was transforming bit by bit. It really works. Sensing the increase in the strength of his body, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately became joyful. He became excited. Then, Mo Qingyun abandoned all distracting thoughts and devoted himself to cultivation. Time passed bit by bit as Mo Qingyun cultivated. About a few hours later, Mo Qingyun withdrew from his cultivation. His face showed that he had not had enough. Disappointment flashed in his eyes as he said, "It's a pity that the two puppets only drew 18 bolts of tribulation lightning. If there were more than 100 bolts of tribulation lightning, I would be able to cultivate the berserk lightning draconic source tyrant body to the greater mastery level." Just as Mo Qingyun was feeling regretful, he had another idea. Anticipation appeared on his face as he said, "That's right. The two puppets can only draw 18 bolts of tribulation lightning. If I refine 10 or 8 of them, Wouldn't I be able to draw more than 100 bolts of tribulation lightning? When this idea appeared in his mind, Mo Qingyun became excited. He could not wait to verify it. Refining puppets can't be rushed. Let's take a look at Senior Tu Mo's injuries first. Mo Qingyun thought for a moment, then suppressed the idea in his mind and returned to Qin Tu Mo's side. After such a long period of cultivation, Qin Tu Mo's injuries had basically stabilized. His aura had also become much more stable. Sensing Mo Qingyun's approach, Qin Tu Mo opened his eyes and smiled gratefully at Mo Qingyun. "Thank you for the pill and for protecting me." "It's nothing. Senior, you're welcome." In response to Qin Tu Mo's gratitude, Mo Qingyun waved his hand indifferently and asked, "Senior, how are your injuries? Can we continue on our way? Although there's still a long way to go before I fully recover, it's not a big problem." Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Qin Tu Mo smiled faintly and stood up from the ground. The time to enter the path of the stars is limited. We can't delay for too long. Let's go explore the outer world's secret realm now. Okay. Hearing this, Mo Qingyun nodded and went inside the path of the stars with him. On the way inside the path of the stars, Qin Tu Mo revealed an expectant expression. The closest secret realm to here is the totem secret realm of the Falling Fire Tribe. Let's go there and try our luck. Then, under the guidance of Qin Tu Mo Qingyun rushed towards the Falling Fire Tribe's secret realm. Not long after Mo Qingyun and Qin Tu Mo left, a group of people arrived at the path of the stars. This group of people was none other than the Golden Eye Human Emperor and the others from Qinyo Temple. After entering the path of the stars, the Golden Eye Human Emperor began to warn everyone with a solemn expression. The primordial demons sealed in the Devil Prison Mountain have appeared one after another. This means that the seal on the wild continent has weakened. If there are no accidents, the outer world experts that have descended on the path of the stars this time may be stronger than before. Everyone must be careful. The path of the stars is open for a limited time. Let's not waste time and go explore the secret realm immediately. Hearing the Golden Eye Human Emperor's words, Li Hui Dao, Lord, urged everyone with an anxious expression. Last time, the two totem spirits in the Falling Fire Tribe's totem secret realm were too strong, and we couldn't enter. This time, we must kill the totem spirits and explore the totem secret realm. Chapter 2295. Along the way, Mo Qingyun saw many declining tribal territories that had migrated away for some reason. Mo Qingyun began to ponder upon seeing this, becoming more curious about the Star River Path. Could the Star River Path be like the primordial path, a passage between two continents? Mo Qingyun pondered over the Star River Path's origins and uses as he hurried along with Qin Tu. As Mo Qingyun pondered, Qin Tu's speed suddenly slowed down. It seemed that he couldn't travel for a long time because of the Star River Path suppression. Seeing Qin Tu Mo's appearance, Mo Qingyun frowned and suggested, "Senior Tu Mo, your injuries haven't completely healed yet. Let's rest for a while before leaving." "No, let's continue on our way." Qin Tu Mo immediately shook his head and rejected Mo Qingyun's suggestion. The desolate areas of the Star River Path are very dangerous, especially at night. We must find a city guarded by totems before dark. Mo Qingyun nodded and said in a deep voice. Hearing this, Mo Qingyun frowned and summoned the flying boat. "You're not in a good condition to continue on your journey. I'll control the airboat," Mo Qingyun said to Qin Tu after summoning the airboat. Although it's very difficult to control the airboat on the Star River Path, it should be much faster. Although the Star River Path suppression had a smaller effect on Mo Qingyun couldn't avoid it either. All right, Qin Tu didn't insist upon Mo Qingyun's suggestion and followed him into the airboat. Qin Tu then directed the direction for Mo Qingyun to control the airboat. "My strength is suppressed because I haven't comprehended the laws of power of the Star River Path." Feeling the suppression of power, Mo Qingyun's mind raced as he tried to think of a way to resolve this problem. Mo Qingyun pondered for a while. Then, his eyes brightened as he thought of a solution. He thought to himself, if I can subdue a native race or a native demonic beast to the Milky Way path, I can borrow the Star General's power to comprehend the principle through the connection with the Star General. With this thought, Mo Qingyun felt a sense of anticipation and began to search for tribes and monster beasts on the Star River path. As Mo Qingyun hurried on his way to search for his clan and monstrous beasts, he noticed a familiar figure. When Mo Qingyun sensed that familiar figure, he steered the flying boat and quickly approached her. Mo Qingyun soon arrived at her side and discovered that she was being chased by a group of monster beasts. Ko-xin. When Mo Qingyun came to her side, Qin Tulu recognized her with surprise. Ko-xin's face was pale and her breathing was erratic. She seemed to be on the verge of collapse. If she hadn't forced herself to stay awake with her willpower, she would have been unconscious already. Ko-xin, get on the airboat. Qin Tulu immediately shouted when he saw Ko-xin, attracting her attention. Ko-xin's face lit up with joy when she heard Qin Tulu's words, and she immediately flew toward the airboat. Seeing Ko-xin flee to the airboat, the monster beasts chasing her immediately gave chase. Frost monsters of the intermediate sage realm. Seeing the monster beasts chasing Ko-xin, Mo Qingyun's heart skipped a beat. He wanted to tame one of them, but when he saw the number of monsters, Mo Qingyun hesitated and finally gave up on the idea. There were too many of them. It would be extremely difficult to get rid of them if he became entangled with them. If he were alone, he might have considered it, but now was clearly not the time. Qin Tulu and Ko-xin were both seriously injured. If they engaged in a fierce battle, their injuries would inevitably worsen. More importantly, the sky was about to darken. They couldn't afford to waste any more time. They had to find a city protected by totems as quickly as possible. Phew! Ko-xin took a deep breath when she arrived on the airboat. She looked as if she'd just survived a disaster. When he saw Ko-xin arrive, Mo Qingyun steered the airboat forward, shaking off the monster beasts in the blink of an eye. Seeing that the beasts had been shaken off, Ko-xin's worried heart finally relaxed. She said with a joyful expression, "Big brother to Mo, it's great that you guys are fine." Ko-xin also felt a sense of relief when she greeted Qin Tulu. Thank goodness she'd warned him. If she hadn't warned Mo Qingyun and Mo Qingyun wouldn't have been able to escape alive and wouldn't be here to save her. Good karma begets good karma. Seeing Ko-xin's situation, Qin Tulu said with concern, "Little sister Ko-xin, your injuries aren't light. Rest well and recover first. We can talk about the rest later." Hearing Qin Tulu's words, Ko-xin nodded and immediately immersed herself in cultivation. Time passed bit by bit as Mo Qingyun and the other two hurried on their way. Several hours later, a dilapidated ancient city appeared in Mo Qingyun's sight. Inside the city was a towering stone pillar with the image of a ferocious beast carved on it. Little friend Mo, that ancient city is protected by totems. Let's go in immediately. Qin Tulu's face lit up when he saw the towering pillar and hurriedly reminded Mo Qingyun. Okay. Mo Qingyun nodded and steered the airboat into the ancient city. Fire Qilin City. When they arrived at the city gates, Mo Qingyun saw a few words written in flamboyant calligraphy on the signboard. As Mo Qingyun entered the city, he immediately sensed a mysterious power enveloping him. This power seems to be the power of incense, but also seems to be stronger than incense. Enveloped by the mysterious power, Mo Qingyun frowned as he tried to guess the source of this power. He thought to himself, that's not right. If I sense it carefully, it seems to be the fire of civilization. After sensing this mysterious power, Mo Qingyun looked at the huge stone pillar. This was where the power came from. Little friend Mo, this is the totem pillar. It contains the spirit of the origin fire seed and will automatically protect the territory it is in. Seeing Mo Qingyun look at the towering pillar, Qin Tulu relaxed and explained to Mo Qingyun. The spirit of the origin fire seed. Mo Qingyun's expression changed, and a trace of surprise appeared in his eyes. The origin fire. Wasn't that the fire of civilization? All this time, his use of the fire of civilization had been limited to refining pills, refining weapons, and strengthening abilities. Chapter 2296. Koexion's injuries aren't light. Let's find a place to rest, and let her recover first. Retracting his gaze from the totem pole, Mo Qingyun didn't want to stay any longer and immediately instructed Qin to Mo. Then, Mo Qingyun and the other two walked into the city to find a place to rest. While Mo Qingyun was searching, he found that many people had gathered in the city and many places had been occupied. About 15 minutes later, Mo Qingyun found a dilapidated house in a remote corner. Let's go in. Mo Qingyun glanced at the residents in front of him and said a few words to the two of them before walking into Zhaoyuan. Mo Qingyun entered the house and sat cross-legged on the ground to adjust his breathing and recover the immortal spiritual power he had consumed earlier. He had been controlling the flying boat all this time and had consumed a lot of immortal spiritual power. The path of the Milky Way was full of danger. He had to restore himself to peak condition as soon as possible. Seeing that Mo Qingyun was adjusting his breathing and recovering, Qin 2Mo and Qin 2Mo didn't waste any time and immediately immersed themselves in cultivation. While Mo Qingyun and the other two were cultivating, a group of people came to the Fire Qilin city and began to look for a place to stay. This group of people was none other than the Golden Eye Human Emperor and the others from Qianyo Temple. After a short while, under the search of Jintong, Renhuang, and the others, they actually arrived outside Mo Qingyun's house. When Renhuang, Jintong, and the others entered the house, they saw Mo Qingyun and the other two. A look of surprise appeared on their faces. Hey, why does this kid look so familiar? I think I've seen him somewhere before. He's Mo Qingyun. The projection that the old immortal condensed earlier looked exactly like him. So he's Mo Qingyun. I didn't expect to meet him here. Enemies are bound to meet on a narrow road. That's good too. We could just kill him here and save ourselves the trouble. Having recognized Mo Qingyun, the Golden Eye Renhuang and the others sneered. A cold light flashed in their eyes. Noticing the arrival of Renhuang, Jintong, and the others, Mo Qingyun withdrew from his cultivation. His eyes flashed with surprise. Oh no, the people of St. Palace Qianyo are here. This is going to be troublesome. Mo Qingyun could sense that the auras of the Golden Eye Human Emperor and Tao, Lordly Fire, were not any weaker than old immortal Vortex Wind. With his current strength, he could barely deal with one of them, but it was obviously impossible to deal with two of them. More importantly, he had Qin 2 and Mo Xie by his side, so he couldn't help but worry. Looking at Jintong Renhuang and the others in front of him, Mo Qingyun did not dare to be careless. He immediately transmitted his voice to Qin 2Mo, saying, Senior, the people of Qianyo Temple are attacking. Take Koxian and leave first. I will hold them off. All right, be careful. After hearing the rumors about Mo Qingyun, Qin 2Mo did not dare to hesitate. He immediately left with Koxian. He knew very well that if the two of them stayed, they would only be a burden to Mo Qingyun. Want to leave? Can you leave? Stay here obediently and die. Seeing that Qin 2Mo and Mo Xie were about to leave, some experts of St. Palace Qianyo immediately went to intercept them. Seeing these people's actions, Mo Qingyun's gaze turned cold, and he immediately stopped them. Boom! As the wild lightning dragon source tyrant body was activated, a terrifying lightning power erupted from Mo Qingyun's body. Following that, the frightening power of lightning formed a sea of lightning. Under the obstruction of this sea of lightning, the experts of St. Palace Qianyo, who were chasing Qin 2Mo and Mo Xie, were all stopped. What a powerful lightning power. This kid is indeed a little strange. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, the Golden Eye Human Emperor was shocked. He looked at Mo Qingyun in a new light. As the Golden Eye Human Emperor revealed a look of surprise, Tao Lordly Fire's expression turned grim as well. A cold glint flashed in his eyes as he said, "Lad, you've got some guts. To think that you want to fight against us alone. In that case, let me take you on and see what you're capable of." Fire beacon clouds descend. Dao Lordly, whose figure moved, approaching Mo Qingyun at an extremely fast speed. A flame power erupted from his body. This flame power erupted, condensing into fire dragons that emitted a terrifying flame power. Under the burning of these fire dragons, the houses within a radius of 10 miles were burned to ashes in the blink of an eye. Immediately, some of the people who lived nearby were all attracted by this. Are these guys tired of living? How dare they fight in the city? These guys don't know what's good for them. Aren't they afraid of offending the Big Dipper Dragon Rock clan and throwing them out of Fire Chillin City? I'd like to see what will happen to them when the Big Dipper Dragon Rock clan arrives. Is there a need to think about that? I'll definitely beat them up and give them a taste of their own medicine. When they saw Dao Lordly Hua's actions, the surrounding people sneered and gloated at the side. Under everyone's gaze, Dao Lordly Hua arrived in front of Mo Qingyun and controlled the fire dragons to attack Mo Qingyun. What a strong flame power. Its power is close to the fire of civilization. Facing Dao Lordly Hua's fire dragons, Mo Qingyun was shocked and felt a little wary of him. In terms of the offensive power of his mystic skills, Dao Lordly Hua was much stronger than a mortal vortex wind and was more difficult to deal with. If Mo Qingyun had not controlled the fire of civilization to defend against Dao Lordly Hua's mystic skill attack, he would have been severely injured. However, the one that Mo Qingyun was truly wary of was the golden eye human emperor at the side. If even Dao Lordly Hua was so powerful, the golden eye human emperor who was stronger than him would definitely be even more terrifying. If he were to suddenly launch a sneak attack, it would definitely be a disaster for Mo Qingyun. At the thought of that, Mo Qingyun split a portion of his attention to guard against the golden eye human emperor's sneak attack. Against the sneak attack of the golden eye human emperor, Mo Qingyun did not wait for death and immediately counterattacked. Boom, boom, boom. In a short period of time, there were dozens of exchanges between Mo Qingyun and Dao Lordly Hua. As Mo Qingyun and Dao Lordly Hua fought, some of the surrounding houses and buildings were blasted into dust in the blink of an eye. This was also because Mo Qingyun and Dao Lordly Hua restrained themselves. Otherwise, the entire Chengdu would have collapsed. This lad is indeed extraordinary. He's not at a disadvantage in the face of Dao Lordly Hua's full-powered attack. Seeing the exchange between Mo Qingyun and Dao Lordly Hua, the golden eye human emperor's expression tensed up and a hint of shock flashed in his eyes. He thought to himself, seems like the cloud heaven saint was right. This lad is indeed a huge hidden danger. He can't be allowed to continue growing. At that moment, the golden eye human emperor believed Zi Yunxiao's words even more. Chapter 2297. The reason why this kid can fight against Dao, Lordly Fire, is mainly because of his strong physical body. After observing the battle between the two for a while, the Golden Eye Human Emperor discovered the reason why Mo Qingyun could fight against Dao, Lordly Fire. Then, the Golden Eye Human Emperor revealed a cold smile and released a murderous intent. Let's see what else you can rely on after I break your physical body. How are you going to fight against Dao, Lordly Fire? With that thought in mind, the Golden Eye Human Emperor's eyes flashed with a cold light, and two golden rays of light shot out. The two golden rays of light shot out and turned into two golden rays of light that blasted towards Mo Qingyun. You've indeed launched a sneak attack. Facing the Golden Eye Human Emperor's sneak attack, Mo Qingyun was not surprised at all. He looked as if he had expected it. Then, Mo Qingyun began to use his divine ability to defend against the Golden Eye Human Emperor's sneak attack. Yin-yang dual pupils. Two imposing rays of eye power shot out from Mo Qingyun's eyes and met the two golden rays of light. Then, the four rays of light collided with each other, creating a loud explosion. When a loud bang was heard, a terrifying wave of power spread out in midair. He actually blocked it. Seeing that his sudden sneak attack was easily blocked by Mo Qingyun, the Golden-Eye Human Emperor was shocked. Then, the way the Golden-Eye Human Emperor looked at Mo Qingyun changed drastically. He said in surprise, "This kid has such a strong divine will. He can still divert his attention to guard against me while fighting against Dao, lordly fire. It seems that he's more of a threat to Qianyu Palace than I thought. I must not let him live today." As soon as the Golden-Eye Human Emperor finished speaking, he no longer hesitated and attacked Mo Qingyun again. Attacking Mo Qingyun again, the Golden-Eye Human Emperor's attack was obviously stronger than before. After all, Mo Qingyun's realm was too low. Facing the joint attack of Jintong and Renwang, the pressure was too great. Under the frenzied attacks of the two, Mo Qingyun was finally caught off guard and was struck by the eye power of the Golden-Eye Human Emperor. Pucci. Under the attack of the Golden-Eye Human Emperor, Mo Qingyun was immediately sent flying, crashing into a large number of houses. After Mo Qingyun stabilized his body, he spat out a mouthful of blood and his face turned pale. It seems that the combined strength of the two of them is even more powerful than I imagined. Mo Qingyun's expression became serious as he was injured by the Golden-Eye Renwang's attack. He was thinking about how to get rid of them. Seeing that Mo Qingyun was seriously injured by his attack, the Golden-Eye Human Emperor sneered and said, "Mo Qingyun, I have cultivated for 1,000,000 years and have seen countless geniuses. I have to admit that you are the one with the most monstrous talent and strength among all the geniuses I've seen. That's why we can't leave you alive. Just accept your death." Following the words of the Golden-Eye Human Emperor, a sinister smile appeared at the corner of Dao, Lord Lihuo's mouth, and he approached Mo Qingyun again. At this moment, when the Golden-Eye Human Emperor and Ren Huang attacked again, a terrifying aura approached at extremely fast speed. Sensing these powerful auras, the expressions of the onlookers changed drastically and fear appeared on their faces. The people of the heavenly constellation Dragonrock clan are here. These guys are in for it. They have no one to blame but themselves for courting death. That Nine Heavens mystic immortal kid's talent is not inferior to the people of the heavenly constellation Dragonrock clan. It would be a pity if he died. The universe is vast, and there are countless geniuses. Most of them are short-lived. Thinking of the means of the people of the heavenly constellation Dragonrock clan, everyone felt sorry for Mo Qingyun. Sensing the aura of the people of the heavenly constellation Dragonrock clan, Mo Qingyun was shocked and his heartbeat quickened. He was shocked and said, "Nebula Realm. These young men in front of me are all Nebula Realm experts." This was the first time he had encountered a Nebula Realm expert. He was a little excited for a moment. Under Mo Qingyun's gaze, a short young man walked out from the group of people of the heavenly constellation Dragonrock clan and shouted coldly, "How dare you go against our orders? It seems like you are tired of living." After the short young man finished speaking, he glanced at the Golden-Eye Human Emperor and the others with a fierce gaze. "So it's young Master Shiqiao. I am Ren Huang Fan. Greetings, young master." In the face of the short young man's question, the Golden-Eye Human Emperor showed respect and immediately bowed to him. He said, "Young Master Shiqiao, this kid is a traitor of our sect. We broke your rules because we were eager to eliminate the traitor. I hope you can forgive us and allow us to eliminate this traitor." Noisy, Shiqiao shouted angrily at the Golden-Eye Human Emperor's explanation. He glanced at the Golden-Eye Human Emperor with disdain and said sarcastically, "You are not worthy of being called a human emperor. You lowly commoners are no different from pigs and dog in my eyes." King Tong Renhuang was of such a high status that he could not tolerate being humiliated in such a manner. Seeing the attitude of the Golden-Eye Human Emperor, Shiqiao's face immediately darkened. He said coldly, "It seems like you want to attack me. If that's the case, I'll play with you. I hope you won't disappoint me." After Shiqiao finished speaking, he casually raised his right hand and pointed at the Golden-Eye Human Emperor. A terrifying boulder Saint Power quickly gathered at Shurchio's fingertip and turned into a tiny boulder dragon. The boulder dragon was formed. Like lightning, it blasted in front of the Golden Eye Human Emperor in the blink of an eye. Golden Eye of Destruction. In the face of Shurchio's attack, the Golden Eye Human Emperor did not dare to be careless. He immediately used his superpower to resist. However, his eye power was instantly shattered by the boulder dragon's overbearing impact. The two were not on the same level at all. The stone dragon shattered the light of the eye power and blasted onto the body of the Golden Eye Ren Huang, piercing through his chest. Then, the Golden Eye Human Emperor trembled and knelt on the ground. He spat out blood, and his face turned pale. Seeing such a scene, the people of Chionyo Palace were shocked. They were all pale with fright. Even a powerful existence like the Golden Eye Human Emperor could not resist at all in front of the young man in front of him. Just how powerful was the other party? How are they going to face him? You're just like an ant. With one finger, the Golden Eye Ren Huang was severely injured. It was rare for Shurchio to make a move. He looked down at the Golden Eye Ren Huang and said, "Let me ask you now, in my eyes, are you like pigs and dogs?" Yes. In the face of Shurchio's forceful questioning, the Golden Eye Human Emperor nodded honestly, although he was unwilling. Chapter 2298. Mo Qingyun. I'd like to see what tricks you can play in the face of the overbearing Shurchio. Seeing Shurchio looking at Mo Qingyun, the Golden Eye Human Emperor smiled proudly and gloated at the side. In his opinion, it would be the best outcome if Shurchio killed Mo Qingyun. Under the pressure of Shurchio's aura, Mo Qingyun's expression tensed up and his mind was focused to the extreme. From Shurchio's previous attack, he was certain that he was no match for Shurchio. Moreover, there was a group of people who were stronger than him behind Shurchio. This made Mo Qingyun feel even more hopeless. This time, he was in a desperate situation. If he was not careful, he would be doomed eternally. With your cultivation of a 9 heavens Xian immortal realm, you could be considered a talent to be able to contend with a Saint realm expert. Shurchio sized up Mo Qingyun and nodded at Mo Qingyun with admiration. His face gradually turned cold as he said coldly, "However, you have broken our rules. I have to punish you. If you can survive my attack, I will spare your life." Hearing Shurchio's words, the surrounding people's expressions changed drastically. They could not help but worry for Mo Qingyun. They knew how strong the people from the Heavenly Dragon Rock clan were. Every one of them was a Nebula Realm expert. Even though Shurchio was not the strongest among them, he was not someone a Saint Realm expert could compare to. With Mo Qingyun's cultivation of the 7 heavens Xian immortal realm, the chances of him surviving Shurchio's attack was less than 10%. All right. Although he was unwilling, Mo Qingyun still nodded and accepted Shurchio's suggestion. He had no other choice but to listen to Shurchio's request. All of this was because he was not strong enough. He was still too weak after all. Hearing Mo Qingyun's answer, Shurchio smiled coldly and attacked Mo Qingyun with his palm. Waves of terrifying saint energy gathered on Shurchio's palm and condensed into a sky-covering stone palm. It crushed down on Mo Qingyun domineeringly. Shadow Dragon Transformation. Saint Demon Star Shattering Fist. Demon Star Shattering Palm. Heavenly Sun Star Piercing Eyes. Facing Shurchio's attack, Mo Qingyun did not dodge. Instead, he immediately used various superpowers to defend himself. At the same time, a powerful thunderous force burst out from Mo Qingyun's body. Then a vast sea of lightning surrounded Mo Qingyun, protecting him in the center. As for the fire of civilization, he did not dare to use it would cause more trouble. Although he didn't bring out the fire of civilization, Mo Qingyun still activated the fire of civilization to increase his physical defense. What surprised Mo Qingyun was that when he activated the fire of civilization, a mysterious force seeped into his body. This force seems to come from the totem pole. Feeling the mysterious force seeping into his body, Mo Qingyun was shocked. He guessed the source of this force. After a short moment of surprise, Yun was secretly delighted. With the support of this force, it would be easy to defend against Chiu's palm. Boom! Under everyone's gaze, the huge sky-covering stone palm slammed down and swallowed Yun. Seeing this scene, the expressions of the surrounding people all tensed up. Facing such a powerful palm, that kid is most likely dead. I think he's dead for sure. Even a Saint Realm expert only has a 10% chance of surviving this palm. It seems like Chiu wants to make an example out of him and give us a warning. Seeing Yun being hit by the giant rock palm, the surrounding people felt sorry and thought that Yun was doomed. Compared to other people's worries, the Golden-Eye Human Emperor and the others sneered and said proudly, "Kid, it seems that even God wants you to die and let Chiu end you for me." Next, time seemed to stand still. Everyone was waiting for the palm power to dissipate. About the time it took to brew a cup of tea later, the palm power fluctuation caused by Chiu's palm finally dissipated completely, revealing Yun's figure. To everyone's surprise, Yun was not injured. His aura was still very stable. He's not injured. How is this possible? This kid is too strange. His talent and potential may be above Chiu and the others. But if that's the case, Chiu and the others will not let him go. Of course, with Chiu and the others' pride, how can they tolerate someone from a lower plane surpassing them in talent? While everyone was shocked, they felt even more sorry and worried about Yun. Seeing that Yun was not injured at all, the Golden-Eye Human Emperor's face twitched. His eyes were full of shock. He said, "This kid is too monstrous. No wonder he's a thorn in the side of the Dark Demon tribe. We can't let him escape today. Otherwise, he'll become our nightmare." While everyone was shocked, Yun was communicating with the totem spirit of the Fire Qilin city through his mind. "Kid, how about we make a deal? You give me 80% of the fire of civilization, and I'll stop them for you. How about that?" The totem spirit's cunning voice appeared in Yun's sea of consciousness. It looked like a cunning businessman. Hearing the totem spirit's voice, Yun frowned and hesitated whether to agree to its request. Losing 80% of the fire of civilization was too great a price to pay. While Yun was hesitating, a young man behind Chiu saw Yun's amazing performance. His face immediately darkened, and he said coldly, "This kid is a little strange. He must have a big secret. We can't let him go easily." After the young man finished speaking, he rushed towards Yun, wanting to capture Yun. The young man's speed was very fast. In the blink of an eye, he had closed in on Yun. He sneered and said, "Brat, your performance has surprised me. You will also receive my palm. If you can block my palm, I will let you leave here today." As soon as the young man finished speaking, he attacked Yun with a palm that was even stronger than Chiu's. Obviously, he wanted to kill Yun to prevent Yun from being a scourge. Mid-Nebula Realm. Sensing the young man's aura, Yun's heart trembled. He immediately made a decision and shouted, "Fire Qilin Totem Spirit, I agree to your request. Stop him for me." After Yun finished speaking, he released the terrifying fire of civilization and sent it into the totem pole in the city. Then, a huge flaming figure flew out of the totem pole and swallowed the fire of civilization. Awesome. I haven't eaten so much in a long time. After swallowing the fire of civilization, the flaming figure roared happily and jumped in front of Yun. Then, it waved its huge claws and blocked the young man's palm for Yun. Seeing this, not only were the people around shocked, but the people of the Celestial Dragon Rock clan were also shocked. Chapter 2299. This kid is so strange. He can even summon the totem spirit. Is he from the Fire Qilin clan? Otherwise, how can he summon the totem spirit? There's another possibility. He sacrificed the origin flame to summon the totem spirit to fight. You guessed right. The flame he released was the origin flame. If that's the case, this kid's potential is immeasurable. If that's the case, Shi Qiu and the others from the Celestial Dragon Rock clan will definitely not let him go. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, everyone was shocked and looked at Mo Qingyun in a new light. While everyone was shocked by Mo Qingyun's means, the golden eye human emperor's face darkened. He was so angry that he gritted his teeth and said angrily, "I didn't expect him to have such means. It's really unexpected." However, he has angered Shi Qiu and the others. Today, he will die at their hands. The origin flame. Seeing Mo Qingyun release the flame of civilization, Shi Qiu and the others were shocked. Their eyes were filled with intense shock. After calming down, Shi Qiu and the others looked at Mo Qingyun coldly. They said angrily, "That kid can attract the origin flame into his body. He has the potential to become the new master of civilization in the future. He will be a hidden danger to our clan. Today, we must not let him escape. Everyone, let's attack together and kill this kid here." Realizing the danger that Mo Qingyun posed, Shi Qiu and the others attacked one after another, besieging Mo Qingyun. Seeing Shi Qiu and the others attacking him, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately became tense and his mood became heavy. He thought to himself, with the combined strength of Shi Qiu and the others, the Fire Qilin totem spirit will not last long. I have to leave Fire Qilin City immediately. After thinking about this, Mo Qingyun did not continue to hesitate and immediately escaped from Fire Qilin City. Although leaving Fire Qilin City would mean facing the siege of the Beast Tide, he could not care so much. If he did not leave Fire Qilin City, he would definitely die under the joint attack of Shi Qiu and the others. Mo Qingyun's figure flashed a few times, and he escaped from Fire Qilin City, disappearing from everyone's sight. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had escaped from the Fire Qilin City, Shi Qiu and the others stopped in their tracks, and their faces darkened. "Brother Stillwater, what should we do now? Should we continue to pursue that brat?" Standing beside the skinny young man, Shi Qiu had an inquiring expression on his face as he asked for the skinny young man's opinion. Hearing Shi Qiu's question, Shi Jin's brows furrowed even tighter. He said coldly, "Now that the sky is getting dark, the beast horde on the Star River Road is about to arrive. If we continue to pursue that kid, we may be surrounded by the beast horde. This is not a wise choice. But I'm really unwilling to let that brat escape just like that." Shi Qiu's face was filled with unwillingness when he thought about how a brat at the Nine Heavens Mystic Immortal stage had managed to escape from him. Hearing Shi Qiu's words, the people from the Celestial Dragon Rock clan beside him also showed unwillingness. Seeing everyone's reaction, Shi Jin's face turned cold. He said, "Contact Shi Xiao and the others immediately and ask them to check the brat's hiding place through the Yin Yang Heavenly Spying Mirror." All right. Hearing Shi Jin's suggestion, Shi Qiu and the others were overjoyed and nodded in agreement. All right, let's go back. After telling everyone his plan, Shi Jin did not want to stay any longer. He returned to the inner part of Fire Qilin City and said, "The Star River Road is the training ground of my clan. I don't believe that a brat from a lower realm can escape from us. Those idiots from the lower realm think that this is a paradise. They don't know that they are just our sparring partners. If it weren't for the clan's strict orders not to kill people from the lower realm, I would have killed those guys to vent my anger. Looking at their despicable faces disgusts me. I can't wait to make them all disappear." Everyone followed behind Shi Placid. They all wore cold expressions and spoke arrogant words. Seeing that Shi Jin and the others returned empty-handed, the Golden Eye Human Emperor and the others were dumbfounded. They could not accept the reality. With the strength of Shi Qiu and the others, they actually let Mo Qingyun escape. This really didn't make sense. I didn't expect that brat to escape under the siege of the Celestial Dragon Rock clan. Knowing that Mo Qingyun had escaped alive, the Golden Eye Human Emperor's face was as black as ink and his heart was filled with anger. In his opinion, due to the intervention of the Celestial Dragon Rock clan, the confrontation between them and Mo Qingyun had changed. However, In the end, they were still defeated. Although Mo Qingyun was chased out of Fire Qilin City, he was not injured at all. However, under Shi Qiu's attack, his cultivation foundation was damaged, causing him to be unable to recover in a short period of time. With such a comparison, the outcome was clear. Although that brat was lucky enough to escape, the beast tide in the wilderness is extremely terrifying. He will definitely die under the beast tide. Hearing the golden eye human emperor's words, Dao Lordly Fire's heart was filled with disdain. He did not think that Mo Qingyun could survive. While the golden eye human emperor and the others were dissatisfied, the other side when they saw that Mo Qingyun had escaped. None of them had expected that the outcome would be like this. With Mo Qingyun's cultivation at the Nine Heavens mystic immortal realm, he could escape unscathed in the face of the pursuit of so many experts. Even if he eventually died in the beast tide after escaping from Fire Qilin City, he could die honorably. Outside Fire Qilin City, Mo Qingyun escaped from the city. Seeing that Shi Qiu and the others did not chase after him, he did not continue to run. Mo Qingyun stopped in his tracks and began to think. He said to himself, according to Senior Tu Mo's description, a beast tide will appear in the wilderness at night. It's obviously not safe to continue running. I have to find a place to hide. Judging from the current time, it's too late to set up a formation. Mo Qingyun looked at the sky and immediately abandoned this idea. He began to think of other ways. After pondering for a while, Mo Qingyun had an idea in his heart. He prayed silently. It seems that hiding in the Fortune mainland is the safest. I hope that I won't be discovered by the demonic beasts here. Although his heart was filled with worry, Mo Qingyun still decided to enter. He had no other choice. A spatial crack appeared, and Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and entered the spatial crack. Chapter 2300. Not long after Mo Qingyun escaped from Fire Qilin City, a tide of powerful monsters converged in his direction. Qin Tu and Mo Xie, who were hiding in the city, couldn't help but relax when they saw the arrival of the monster tide. The monster tide is here. Everyone is going to deal with the monster tide. No one will pay attention to us. Hiding in a dilapidated attic, Ko Xian saw the scene outside the city, and her hanging heart was slightly relieved. Because of Ko Xian's words, Qin Tu thought of Mo Qingyun's situation and revealed a worried expression. Little friend Mo, in order to protect the two of us, he intercepted the people of Chunyo Temple by himself. I wonder how he is now. Hearing Qin Tu's words, Ko Xian's heart sank. She was worried for Mo Qingyun. She had clearly seen the strength of Chunyo Temple. It would be very difficult for Mo Qingyun to resist. The slightest carelessness would cause him to fall at the hands of Chunyo Temple and die in Fire Qilin City. When this thought came to mind, Qin Tu blamed himself. It was all because the two of them were useless. While Qin Tu and Mo Xie were talking, the other people in Fire Qilin City were alarmed by the monster tide. Noticing the arrival of the monster tide, Shi Jin and the others immediately gathered everyone to resist the monster tide that was attacking the city. The monster tide has arrived so quickly. That kid must have been swallowed by the monster tide. Standing on the city wall, Shi Jin looked at the monster tide with a smile on his face. In his view, if Mo Qingyun was surrounded by these monsters, he would definitely die. Hearing Shi Jin's words, Shi Qiu and the others also smiled proudly. Mo Qingyun had only left Fire Qilin City in less than half the time it took to brew a cup of tea. It was impossible for him to have escaped too far. If Mo Qingyun was unlucky, he might encounter the monster tide head-on and be directly swallowed by the monster tide. With the terrifying strength of these monsters, if Mo Qingyun encountered them, he would be torn to pieces in the blink of an eye. Similarly, standing on the city wall, Jin Tong and the others also smiled coldly at the scene in front of them. Human Emperor, that brat has escaped outside the city. He will definitely be surrounded by the beast horde. This time, he is dead for sure. At the thought of Mo Qingyun being engulfed by the beast stampede, a cold smirk appeared on Dao Lordly Fire's face as a smug feeling rose in his heart. Upon hearing Tao lordly fire's words, the golden-eye human emperor nodded in agreement. However, his expression was tense as he said, "Although we have the protection of the city, our situation isn't very optimistic in the face of so many demonic beasts. I wonder how Shurchio and the rest will deal with it." Upon hearing the words of the golden-eye human emperor, Tao lordly fire's expression turned grim as he turned to look at Shurchio and the others. If Shurchio and the others ordered them to be cannon fodder, they would be in big trouble. These demonic beasts were not weak. They were basically at the true sage level, and some of them had even reached the quasi-galaxy realm. Once they fought head-on, even if they managed to repel the beast tide, they would have to pay a heavy price. Boom, boom, boom. Under everyone's nervous gazes, the beast horde began to attack the city in a frenzy, emitting earth-shattering noises. When the beast horde attacked the city, a huge flaming light shield appeared outside the fire dragon Chilan city. When this flaming light shield appeared, it enveloped the fire dragon Chilan city and burned the demonic beasts around it. Some of the demonic beasts with lower cultivation were burned to ashes in the blink of an eye, intimidating the other demonic beasts. The power of the fire dragon Chilan city's totem, sacred array, seems to be much stronger than before. Seeing the power of the flaming light shield, Shurchio and the others were shocked, and a surprised smile appeared on their faces. With the power of the totem's sacred array increasing, it will be much easier for them to resist the attack of the beast stampede. While the people of the heavenly Dipper Dragon Rock clan were rejoicing, Shur Placid pondered for a moment and roughly guessed the reason. He sneered and said, "If I'm not wrong, the power of the totem's sacred array, increasing, should be related to Mo Qingyun's sacrifice of the origin flame. Speaking of which, we should thank him." Upon hearing Shur Placid's analysis, Shurchio and the others nodded in agreement. This was the only explanation that could make sense of everything. Following Shur Placid's words, Shurchio sneered complacently. "If that brat knows that the origin flame he sacrificed allowed us to obtain protection, he would probably be furious." Shur Placid and the others discussed for a while, but they did not let down their guard. They immediately led everyone to resist the beast stampede. Mo Qingyun was completely unaware of Shur Placid and the others' encounter. He was currently calculating the time. On the Fortune mainland, several hours have passed. According to Senior 2 Mo's description, the beast stampede should have appeared by now. Mo Qingyun calculated the time, and his expression relaxed slightly. His anxious heart also relaxed a little as he thought to himself, "If the beast stampede has already appeared, and the demonic beasts have not discovered the Fortune mainland, then I should be fine." Reaching this conclusion, Mo Qingyun revealed a brilliant smile, and a burst of joy rose in his heart. "Since I can avoid the beast stampede by entering the Fortune mainland, then I won't have to fear the beast stampede in the Path of Stars." Mo Qingyun became even more excited as he thought of this. This way, he would have a great advantage when exploring the Path of Stars. I wonder how Senior 2 Mo and Senior 2 Mo are doing. While Mo Qingyun was overjoyed, he was also worried about Qin 2 Mo and Senior 2 Mo. Qin 2 Mo and Senior 2 Mo's strength was average, and both of them were seriously injured, unable to display 70% of their strength. If their whereabouts were discovered by the Chunyo Holy Temple, they would be dead for sure. "I hope they're all right." Mo Qingyun sighed and no longer thought about it, immediately immersing himself in cultivation. Although he had saved his life this time, the price he had paid was equally terrifying. He had sacrificed 80% of his fire of civilization, and it would take at least several years to condense it again. In this way, it was obviously impossible for him to use the fire of civilization to save his life in the Path of Stars. Therefore, the only thing he could do now was to increase his strength as quickly as possible to increase his ability to protect himself. Soon, he took out a large number of medicinal crystals and piled them around his body. Refined. After taking out the medicinal crystals, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately refined them. Under Mo Qingyun's refining, Wisps of pure medicinal spiritual energy were extracted from the medicinal crystals. As the medicinal spiritual energy was extracted, it was like a river flowing into the sea, entering Mo Qingyun's body. After absorbing the medicinal spiritual energy into his body, Mo Qingyun refined it bit by bit, turning it into immortal spiritual force. Chapter 23:01. The night passed quickly. Early the next morning, Mo Qingyun exited from his cultivation and left the Fortune mainland in a flash. After leaving the Fortune mainland, Mo Qingyun looked around to determine his location. According to Senior Tu Mo's description, I should be able to reach the Falling Fire Tribe's secret territory if I head east for another day. After confirming the direction of their journey, Mo Qingyun summoned the flying boat and drove it forward at top speed. About a day later, Mo Qingyun arrived at a fiery cliff while traveling at full speed. According to Qin Tu Mo's description, the Falling Fire Tribe's tribe was located at the bottom of this cliff. After glancing at the bottom of the cliff, Mo Qingyun leaped down. Soon, Mo Qingyun arrived at the bottom of the cliff and saw a huge sea of lava. The entire sea of lava was like boiling water, constantly churning with heat waves. The lava mist drifted into the air, forming a fiery cloud that rained down fiery rain. At first glance, the fiery rain looked incomparably beautiful, like blooming fireworks. However, Mo Qingyun knew very well that although the fiery rain looked beautiful, it was actually very terrifying. Without a cultivation in the nine heavens' mysterious immortal realm, one would be burned to death by these fiery rain. Looking at the falling fiery rain, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but sigh. He was even more curious about the Falling Fire Tribe. To be able to survive in such an environment, it was obvious that the Falling Fire Tribe was not simple. Therefore, there should be a lot of treasures hidden in their secret territory. After glancing at the sea of lava, Mo Qingyun flew in the direction of the Falling Fire Tribe's tribe. Soon, Mo Qingyun entered the fiery rain area and endured the continuous bombardment of the fiery rain. Fortunately, Mo Qingyun's physical body was very strong, and the fiery rain did not affect him much. There is a small island over there. It should be the Falling Fire Tribe's tribe. As Mo Qingyun searched around, he vaguely saw a small island in the middle of the lava ocean. After discovering the small island in the middle of the lava ocean, Mo Qingyun sped up and quickly arrived at the small island. Mo Qingyun arrived at the island and saw many stone huts. They had also been abandoned for a long time. Mo Qingyun did not care about this and began to look for the secret realm of the Falling Fire Tribe. The space on the small island wasn't very big. It wasn't much bigger than the Fire Dragon Qilin City. Mo Qingyun didn't take long to go around it. After circling the entire island, Mo Qingyun found an altar. At the entrance of the altar, there were two huge totem poles. Totem pole? Could this be the totem mystic realm? Looking at the totem pole at the entrance of the altar, Mo Qingyun had a thought and immediately flew towards the altar. Arriving in front of the altar, Mo Qingyun gave it a simple glance before walking into the altar. Roar, roar. As Mo Qingyun approached the altar, two huge flaming figures jumped out from the totem pole. The two flaming figures appeared in an angry manner. They roared at Mo Qingyun. Damned outsider! How dare you covet the treasure of the Falling Fire Tribe? Pay the price with your life. The two flaming figures roared and waved their huge fists, smashing down on Mo Qingyun. Although the two totem spirits were not as strong as the Fire Dragon Qilin totem spirit, they were comparable to the Vortex Immortal. Come out and help me fight. Seeing the two totem spirits attacking, Mo Qingyun did not dare to hold back and immediately summoned the two soul puppets. The two soul puppets were summoned, and they went to deal with one totem spirit. Instantly, the pressure on Mo Qingyun was reduced. It's much easier now that there's only one. Seeing the totem spirit in front of him, Mo Qingyun's expression relaxed and a faint smile appeared on his face. If the power you control is not fire, you may be able to cause great harm to me. But the power of fire is a little difficult. He had drawn the fire of civilization into his body and was extremely immune to all fire attacks. It was because of this that Mo Qingyun was able to maintain the upper hand against Dao, lordly fire, for a long time. Wild Thunder Dragon Source, Overlord Body. Although the power of fire did not cause much harm to Mo Qingyun did not let his guard down and immediately activated the Wild Thunder Dragon Source, Overlord Body. Then, a terrifying thunderbolt power erupted from Mo Qingyun's body and suppressed the two totem spirits. Chi. Streams of terrifying lightning struck the totem spirit, producing a series of ear-piercing noises. After activating the Wild Thunder Dragon Source, Overlord Body, Mo Qingyun took out the Tiger Soul and attacked the totem spirits. Under Mo Qingyun's attack, the Tiger Soul immediately emitted a dazzling golden light and blasted out streaks of domineering saber light. Unfortunately, the totem spirits had yet to develop intelligence, and the rising dragon heavenly saber could not harm their spiritual consciousness. Your strength is limited. If I can't kill you with one attack, I'll exhaust you to death even if I have to. Seeing how difficult it was for the totem spirits to give birth, Mo Qingyun's eyes flashed with determination as he waved the Tiger Soul again and again. Under Mo Qingyun's repeated attacks, the combat strength of the totem spirits began to weaken bit by bit. There was no other way. Mo Qingyun's body was too strong, and he had the Genesis bloodline to recover from his injuries. If they could not suppress him and continue to fight him for a long time, they would be at a disadvantage. Several hours later, die for me. After repeated intense exchanges, the totem spirits finally could not bear the repeated attacks and fell under Mo Qingyun's saber. After killing the totem spirits that were fighting with him, Mo Qingyun did not relax and immediately went to help the two spiritual puppets. When Mo Qingyun helped the two spiritual puppets, his face revealed a trace of fear, and he said in surprise, "Fortunately, I killed one of the totem spirits. Otherwise, in another 15 minutes at most, the two spiritual puppets would be crippled and my situation would be very bad." Although the two totem spirits were not in peak condition, their combat strength was still very terrifying. With Mo Qingyun joining the battle, the totem spirits that originally had the upper hand immediately fell into a situation where they were attacked from both sides. Before long, the remaining totem spirit also died under Mo Qingyun's saber with hatred. Fortunately, the totem spirits of the Falling Fire Tribe are not as strong as the totem spirits of the Fire Qilin City. After killing the two totem spirits, Mo Qingyun took a deep breath and a sense of relief rose in his heart. He said, "Otherwise, I can only run with my tail between my legs and think of another way to enter the secret realm." Mo Qingyun muttered to himself. He kept the two spiritual puppets and sat on the spot to recover his exhausted strength. The totem secret realm of the Falling Fire Tribe might not be dangerous. Without recovering to his peak condition, Mo Qingyun did not dare to enter rashly. Chapter 2302. After a period of time, Mo Qingyun stopped cultivating. After a period of adjustment, he had recovered to his peak state. After recovering his consumed immortal spiritual power, Mo Qingyun did not delay any longer and immediately walked into the totem mystic realm. As soon as Mo Qingyun entered the mystic realm, he felt a terrifying heat wave rushing towards him. What a pure flame power! If I cultivate here, I will get twice the result with half the effort. Sensing the flame power in the mystic realm, Mo Qingyun's face was filled with shock. He could not help but want to cultivate here. Suppressing the thoughts in his heart, Mo Qingyun carefully entered the mystic realm and explored it. As Mo Qingyun continued to walk, he felt a little relieved that there was no danger in the mystic realm. In addition, Mo Qingyun found that this totem mystic realm was more like a holy land for cultivation. After obtaining such a result, Mo Qingyun quickened his pace and walked towards the inner part of the mystic realm. After about half a cup of tea's time, Mo Qingyun walked straight and came to the innermost part of the mystic realm. He saw a huge flame pool. Flame Essence Holy Spirit Solution. Looking at the liquid in the pool, Mo Qingyun immediately revealed a pleasantly surprised expression, and his mood became excited. If he cultivated in this pool, he would definitely be able to reach a new level in a short period of time. Looking at the flame pool, Mo Qingyun saw a small stone platform in the center of the pool. On the stone platform, there was a colorful egg that emitted a weak aura of life. This is the egg of the desolate era divine beast, the five-colored heavenly crow. Seeing the colorful egg on the stone platform, Mo Qingyun's expression was shocked. Even his heartbeat became faster. This was a legendary desolate era divine beast. It was rarer than dragons and phoenixes. More importantly, it was rumored that the five-colored heavenly crow was born with a sage realm cultivation. One could imagine how terrifying its strength would be when it entered adulthood. If he had such a pet, it would definitely be a great help when he fought with others in the future. Never would I have imagined that there would be such an existence in the descending fire totem mystic realm. After recognizing the colorful egg, Mo Qingyun couldn't calm down for a long time. He couldn't help but sigh with emotion. Crack, crack, crack. Just as Mo Qingyun was sighing with emotion, a crisp sound suddenly came from the egg. However, at this moment, the life aura within the five-colored heavenly crow egg started to weaken. The five-colored heavenly crow's incubation is about to fail. Seeing this situation, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately changed as he thought of a possibility. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate at all and immediately went to the side of the five-colored heavenly crow's egg. Then, Mo Qingyun released a wave of creation power, which seeped into the five-colored heavenly crow egg. Even if the five-colored heavenly crow failed to hatch, the five-colored heavenly crow egg was still a cultivation treasure. However, Mo Qingyun really couldn't bear to see a divine beast die like this. He wanted to do his best to help it. As a creation power seeped into the egg, the five-colored heavenly crow's life aura slowly stabilized. However, the five-colored heavenly crow's life aura was still very weak. At this rate, it would take at least 10,000 years for it to hatch successfully. Mo Qingyun obviously couldn't wait for such a long time. He couldn't always stay by the egg's side to protect it. After all, he still needed to guard the immortal palace of creation and settle his grudge with the dark demon race. That's all I can do. After understanding the five-colored heavenly crow's situation, Mo Qingyun hesitated for a moment before forcing out a drop of blood essence. This drop of blood essence contained the power of the absolute beginning creation bloodline. It should have some effect on the five-colored heavenly crow. As Mo Qingyun's blood essence dripped onto the five-colored heavenly crow's egg, it was immediately sucked in. After refining a drop of Mo Qingyun's blood essence, the five-colored heavenly crow's life aura clearly became stronger. It works! Mo Qingyun's expression lit up when he saw the five-colored heavenly crow's reaction. He immediately forced out another drop of blood essence. In this way, Mo Qingyun forced out 5 drops of blood essence in a row before the five-colored heavenly crow's life aura completely stabilized. To Mo Qingyun's surprise, after the five-colored heavenly crow's life aura stabilized, an ancient rainbow mark flew out of the five-colored heavenly crow's egg. This rainbow mark flew out of Mo Qingyun's head and connected with Mo Qingyun's origin spirit. Then, a kind of soul connection formed between Mo Qingyun and the five-colored heavenly crow. This was the connection between master and servant. It recognized me as its master. Mo Qingyun's expression froze when he saw this. He hadn't expected this at all. Although he'd wanted to subdue the five-colored heavenly crow, he hadn't expected things to go so smoothly. Master, I'm preparing to hatch. Please stand guard for me. After establishing a master-servant relationship with Mo Qingyun, the five-colored heavenly crow transmitted its voice to Mo Qingyun through soul connection. Okay, after receiving the 5-colored heavenly crow's voice transmission, Mo Qingyun replied and stood guard at the side. In order to prevent people from disturbing him, Mo Qingyun walked to the entrance and began to set up all kinds of formations. In Mo Qingyun's view, with the protection of all kinds of formations, the 5-colored heavenly crow's incubation would be smoother. In the blink of an eye, several days passed. Under Mo Qingyun's several days of hard work, he set up more than 10 formations in a row. There were offensive formations, defensive formations, and all kinds of illusory formations. After setting up all the formations, Mo Qingyun returned to the mystic realm and cultivated beside the fire pool. Now that there were formations protecting it, if someone really wanted to come in, there would be formations to stop them. When the other party started to break the formations, he would be able to sense it immediately and have enough time to prepare. Then, as time passed, the 5-colored heavenly crow's aura became stronger and stronger. It seemed that it was really going to hatch. Crack, crack, crack. After a few more days, the crisp sound of the shell cracking rang in Mo Qingyun's ears again. Hearing the sound of the shell cracking, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately became joyful and nervous. Soon after, Mo Qingyun focused all of his attention on the hatching of the 5-colored heavenly crow. Boom! At this moment, when the 5-colored heavenly crow hatched, a loud noise came from the entrance of the mystic realm. Someone was trying to break the formations by force and enter the mystic realm. Oh no, someone is trying to break in. Sensing the situation at the entrance, Mo Qingyun's expression became tense, and he immediately rushed to the entrance. Mo Qingyun's figure flashed a few times and arrived at the entrance of the mystic realm. He saw the people attacking the formations. People from St. Palace Cheonyo. Seeing the people who were breaking the formations, Mo Qingyun was shocked. He was surprised by the identity of the people who came. Chapter 2303. How strange. I remember that the last time I was here, there wasn't a formation here. There's nothing strange about it. This formation was set up later. Someone came here before us. If I'm not mistaken, the 2 totem spirits guarding the entrance should have also been killed by him. If he can kill the totem spirit, he must be very strong. Could he be from the Celestial Dragon Rock clan? It can't be them. With the arrogance of the Big Dipper Dragon Rock clan, they would definitely disdain to set up a formation at the entrance. The other party is so cautious. If it's not that he's not strong enough, then he must have been injured when he killed the totem spirit. When Golden Eye Human Emperor and company were cracking the array, they conversed with each other, and the fear in their hearts lessened. Hearing the conversation between the Golden Eye Human Emperor and the others, Mo Qingyun frowned. He was clear about his situation and thought to himself, it seems that a tough battle is inevitable. While Mo Qingyun was thinking about this, he also felt a sense of relief. Fortunately, the Golden Eye Human Emperor had not recovered from his serious injuries. This would reduce the pressure on him when he was dealing with the Golden Eye Ren Huang and the others. At the very least, he could protect himself. Due to the lack of time, Mo Qingyun's array formation was not of a particularly high grade. In a short period of time, Renhuang Jintong and the others had broken through several matrices. Obviously, the remaining ones could not stop them. I hope the 5-colored sky crow can hatch before Renhuang Jintong and the others come in. Mo Qingyun's expression tensed up as he watched the people from Cheonyo Temple break through the formation. He took out his god shooter bow. Yi Fuqian could not sit and wait for death. He had to give Renhuang Jintong and the others some kind of hindrance. Regardless of whether or not he could stop them in the end, it would be good if he could hold them off for a moment longer. Swish, swish, swish. Powerful arrow lights shot out from the god shooter bow and instantly approached the people of Cheonyo Sacred Hall. In the face of Mo Qingyun's sudden sneak attack, the Saint Realm Elders of Temple Cheonyo were caught off guard and were immediately seriously injured. Not good, we've been discovered. Be careful of sneak attacks from the people inside. Seeing that several elders were seriously injured, The golden eye human emperor was shocked and reminded the people beside him. Upon hearing the warning of the golden pupil human emperor, Dao, lordly fire, and the others took precautions in case Mo Qingyun ambushed them again. Everyone, don't panic. The other party's strength is definitely not strong. Otherwise, they wouldn't have launched a sneak attack. After reminding everyone, the golden eye human emperor sneered and immediately comforted everyone. Under the comfort of the golden eye human emperor, the panic in everyone's hearts immediately disappeared. Mo Qingyun ignored the actions of golden eye human emperor and the others. He raised his god shooter bow and took aim. Soon, several threatening arrow radiances shot toward the golden eye Ren Wang and the others. However, the people from the Sacred Hall at Chunyo Sacred Hall had already raised their guard. Therefore, Mo Qingyun's shot this time did not cause any harm to them. Mo Qingyun did not care about this. His purpose was to delay the golden eye human emperor and the others. Under the constant obstruction of Mo Qingyun, the speed of the golden eye human emperor and the others was obviously much slower than before. In this way, time passed bit by bit as the two sides confronted each other. As time continued to pass, the formations set up by Mo Qingyun were broken one by one. Seeing that the number of formations was decreasing, the complacency in the hearts of Jin Tong and the others became more and more intense. He said, "Friend inside, you can't stop us. You'd better surrender obediently." Although Mo Qingyun did not respond to the golden eye human emperor's words, his mood became heavier. Based on the current situation, the remaining formations could only delay them for a quarter of an hour at most. Chirp! Just as Mo Qingyun was feeling anxious, a high-pitched bird's cry came from the secret realm. Hearing the bird's cry, Mo Qingyun's face lit up and he became excited. The five-colored heavenly crow had successfully hatched. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately rushed into the secret realm. "Master, thank you for protecting me." The five-colored heavenly crow was not big, only the size of a palm. It flew playfully to Mo Qingyun's shoulder. Looking at the five-colored heavenly crow on his shoulder, Mo Qingyun did not play around with it. Instead, he said with a solemn expression, "Someone is coming in to surround us. The formations I set up earlier won't be able to stop them for long. We have to leave this place as soon as possible." After saying this to the five-colored heavenly crow, Mo Qingyun did not say anything more. He raised his hand and grabbed the fiery pond. "Rise!" Following that, Mo Qingyun moved the fiery pond into the Fortune mainland. Seeing the fiery pond disappear, the five-colored heavenly crow was dumbfounded. It stared blankly at Mo Qingyun. "You've just hatched, and your body is still very weak. It's not good for you to engage in a fierce battle." After moving the fiery pond away, Mo Qingyun glanced at the five-colored heavenly crow and said, "I'll keep you in my soul palace first. After that, we'll kill our way out." "Keep." As soon as Mo Qingyun said that, he pointed at his forehead and summoned the 10 soul stars. Then, the five-colored heavenly crow was wrapped in a ball of light and was kept in Mo Qingyun's soul palace. After keeping the five-colored heavenly crow in his soul palace, Missouri Qingyun did not stay any longer and rushed out of the secret realm. By the time Mo Qingyun rushed out of the secret realm, there was only one formation left. It could be destroyed by Jin Tong and the others at any time. There's still one more formation that can cover my escape. Seeing that there was only one formation left, Mo Qingyun's face lit up. He immediately rushed into the formation. However, just as Mo Qingyun entered the formation was overbearingly broken, exposing his figure. "It's him. So the person who is one step ahead of us is Mo Qingyun? This is really surprising. This brat actually killed the totem spirit. It's really strange. This time, he definitely won't be able to escape. This time, without the heavenly star dragon rock tribe's interference. I want to see who can save you." Looking at Mo Qingyun, Jin Tong and the others revealed a complacent sneer after a short moment of shock. In their opinion, Mo Qingyun would definitely not be able to escape from their attack this time. Although he was exposed in front of Jin Tong and the others, Mo Qingyun did not panic. He looked at them indifferently and said with a smile, "You're too late. I've already taken all the treasures in the secret realm." Now that he did not need to protect the five-colored heavenly crow, Mo Qingyun was not afraid of Jin Tong and the others. At most, he would fight with them. Chapter 2304. So, what if you're late? Could it be that you think you can still escape now? You were lucky the previous time when the heavenly constellation dragon Rock interfered and saved your life. Lad, if you want to die in peace, hand over the treasures you obtained, and we'll give you a quick death. Don't waste your breath on this lad. Let's kill him first before anything else happens. After saying a few smug words, the people of Sacred Hall of Cheonyo Palace attacked immediately, worried that Mo Qingyun would play some tricks again. When he saw Dao, Lordly Fire, and the others attacking, Mo Qingyun did not dare to hesitate and summoned the two spirit puppets immediately. The two spirit puppets appeared beside Mo Qingyun and exuded a shocking aura as they charged towards Dao, Lordly Fire, and the others. A spirit puppet comparable to a perfected true sage. This lad sure hid his strength well. To think that he would have such a trump card. No wonder he could kill the totem spirit. So, he borrowed the power of the spirit puppet. The two spirit puppets are severely injured. They should have been injured by the totem spirit. As long as the two spirit puppets are destroyed, this lad will be nothing to worry about. When they saw the two spirit puppets, Dao, Lordly Fire, and the others were shocked at first before sneering. From their point of view, Mo Qingyun could only obediently wait for death now that he had lost his two soul puppets. After controlling the spirit puppets to block Dao, Lordly Fire, and the others, Mo Qingyun immediately took the opportunity to escape out of the secret ground. Mo Qingyun's figure flashed, and he fled 1,000 meters away, distancing himself from the people of Sacred Hall of Cheonyo Palace. That lad is trying to escape. Hurry and stop him. When they saw Mo Qingyun escape, Dao, Lordly Fire, and the others were shocked and chased after Mo Qingyun hurriedly. You guys should protect yourselves first if you want to chase after me. Looking at Dao, Lordly Fire, and the others who were chasing after him, Mo Qingyun mocked, and his expression turned cold. Explode. Mo Qingyun roared and controlled the spirit puppets to explode on the spot. As the two soul puppets exploded, two heaven-shaking explosions sounded out, resulting in two terrifying shockwaves. Under the impact of the two forces, the elders of Sacred Hall of Cheonyo Palace who were dealing with the spirit puppets were all severely injured. Even Dao, Lordly Fire, and the others who were further away suffered serious injuries were all in a wretched state. In this short confrontation, they suffered heavy losses again. Lad, I'm going to eat your flesh, drink your blood, and grind your bones. When he saw that more than half of the elders were severely injured, Dao, Lordly Fire's face was livid as he roared into the skies. As Dao, Lordly Fire roared furiously, several imposing arrow beams shot towards the elders beside him at an extremely fast speed. Under the impact of the explosion of the soul puppet, these elders had yet to recover from a shock, so how could they avoid the bombardment of the arrows? Qingyun, 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 King Qingyun. An unlucky elder had his primordial spirit destroyed by the powerful arrow radiance. Lad, you. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Dao, Lordly Fire gritted his teeth and chased after Mo Qingyun. Ever since he broke through to the Saint Realm, he had never been toyed with to such an extent by a nine heavens mystic immortal. Li Fire, stay calm. Be careful. The golden-eye human emperor was shocked when he saw Dao, Lordly Fire's actions, and chased after him. The more he fought with Mo Qingyun, the more the golden-eye human emperor could see how strange and powerful Mo Qingyun was. Now, he finally understood why the Dark Devil race couldn't do anything to Mo Qingyun despite their formidable strength. At the thought of that, the golden-eye human emperor was worried for Dao, Lordly Fire, afraid that he would be taken advantage of by Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun smirked coldly when he saw Dao, lordly fire chasing after him. My cultivation has improved recently, and I can't find anyone to verify it with. I'll play with you. Rising Dragon Heaven Saber. The moment Mo Qingyun said that, he took out Tiger Soul and slashed at Dao lordly fire. Mo Qingyun chopped down with his saber, and the Tiger Soul immediately shone with a golden light. Then, a golden dragon-shaped saber beam blasted out. The power of my Rising Dragon Heaven Saber seems to be much stronger than before. Mo Qingyun was pleasantly surprised when he saw that the power of his saber was much stronger than before. After a brief moment of surprise, Mo Qingyun thought of a possibility and understood the reason for the strength of his divine power. He said, "The five-colored heavenly crow is a divine beast from the primordial era. The nomological power it comprehended is of an extremely high level, and the nomological laws of the path of stars cannot affect it. Now that it has become my star general, I'm no longer affected by the nomological laws of the path of stars. That's why the power of my divine power has increased." This lad actually hid his strength. He's too cunning. Dao Lordly Fire was shocked when he saw that the power of Mo Qingyun Saber was even stronger than in the Fire Qilin City. Previously, when he fought with Mo Qingyun, their strength was only on par. Now that Mo Qingyun's strength had increased greatly, wouldn't he be no match for Mo Qingyun? Just as Dao Lordly Fire was surprised, the Golden Eye Human Emperor rushed over in time to help him block Mo Qingyun's saber. When the Golden Eye Human Emperor and the Golden Eye Human Emperor attacked, Mo Qingyun's saber was easily blocked by them. After blocking Mo Qingyun's saber, the Golden Eye Human Emperor's pupils constricted and his expression immediately tensed up. He was secretly shocked. This lad really has a backup plan. Fortunately, I rushed over in time. Otherwise, if Leaf Fire was caught off guard and injured, we would be in a passive situation. Mo Qingyun was not surprised that his saber was blocked by the Golden Eye Human Emperor and the Golden Eye Human Emperor. Although the Golden Eye Human Emperor is injured, I can't kill the two of them with my current strength. After exchanging a round with the other party, Mo Qingyun immediately had a clear understanding of his current strength. After understanding the strength of both parties, Mo Qingyun did not continue to stay and said with a faint smile, "Since you guys can't keep me here, I won't play with you guys anymore. The next time I meet you guys, it'll be the time for us to settle our grudges." After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he turned into a long rainbow and disappeared in the blink of an eye. How did this lad's flying speed become so fast? Seeing the speed of Mo Qingyun's escape, the Golden Eye Renhuang's expression was one of shock. A look of horror appeared on his face as he said, "The nomological power of the path of the Starry River does not seem to oppress him. What kind of treasure did he obtain in the secret zone of the Falling Fire Tribe?" The moment this thought appeared in his mind, the Golden Eye Human Emperor's heart sank as though a huge rock was pressing down on it. They were just a step slower, and the treasure that originally belonged to them was taken away by Mo Qingyun. Chapter 2305. I really regret that I didn't accept Zi Yunxiao's suggestion back then and gave this kid a chance to grow. Looking at Mo Qingyun escaping, Dao Lordly's face was as black as ink, and a sense of regret rose in his heart. In the exchange, just now, he could already feel that he was unable to suppress Mo Qingyun. At this rate, it wouldn't be long before he would no longer be a match for Mo Qingyun. No, I can't let him continue to grow. I have to find a way to get rid of him as soon as possible. The more Dao Lordly thought about it, the more worried he became. His brows were tightly knitted as he thought about how to deal with Mo Qingyun. Now, in the path of stars, only the people from the Heavenly Dragon Rock clan can suppress Mo Qingyun. It seems like I have to rely on him. Don't bother about that kid for now. Find a safe city immediately and let the elders cultivate and recuperate. Looking at the furious Dao Lordly Hua, The golden-eye human emperor persuaded him and flew towards the injured elders. Hearing the golden-eye human emperor's words, Dao, Lord Li Hua suppressed the anger in his heart and followed behind the human emperor. Although he was furious, he had to admit that they had suffered a crushing defeat in this exchange. The golden-eye human emperor and the others gathered. They didn't stay any longer and immediately flew out of the falling fire tribe. After shaking off the golden-eye human emperor and the others, Mo Qingyun didn't continue on his journey. His figure flashed and entered the Fortune mainland. Mo Qingyun entered the Fortune mainland and came to the side of the flame pool to refine the fire essence Holy Spirit solution to improve his strength. If he refined the fire essence Holy Spirit solution, his strength would increase greatly and he wouldn't be afraid of the golden-eye human emperor and the others. Under Mo Qingyun's refinement, streams of flames flew out of the flame pool and gathered towards his body. When the streams of flames entered Mo Qingyun's body, he circulated the Sun Nine Temples nebula technique to refine and absorb the streams of flames. Under Mo Qingyun's refinement and absorption, the flame stream immediately turned into immortal spiritual power and condensed into a new Saint Power Star cluster. As Mo Qingyun refined the flame essence Holy Spirit solution, the power of sun flames within his body also began to grow stronger. What surprised Mo Qingyun the most was that when the flame essence Holy Spirit solution entered his body, it began to strengthen his body. This was an unexpected gain for him. Seeing the results of his cultivation, Mo Qingyun discarded the distracting thoughts in his mind and devoted himself to cultivation. As Mo Qingyun continued to cultivate, the aura he exuded began to grow stronger and stronger. 9 Heavens Xian Immortal Stage 7, Mid, Late Peak Perfection. As time passed, Mo Qingyun's cultivation steadily increased. Unwittingly, Mo Qingyun had already cultivated for half a month and completely refined the flame essence Holy Spirit solution. Perfect 9th level of a 9 Heavens Xian Immortal Realm. After withdrawing from cultivation, Mo Qingyun sensed his own realm and his face was full of excitement. He didn't expect that after refining the flame essence Holy Spirit solution, his cultivation would actually cross 2 small realms. Such a speed of improvement was far beyond his expectations. More importantly, his cultivation had broken through to the 9 Heavens Xian Immortal Realm, and the Sun Nine Temples Nebula technique could be considered a small success. Now, the Saint Power Star cluster in his body had formed 2 star rivers of the 9 temples, which had multiplied his strength. With my current strength, there won't be any problem even if I face the people of Qianyo Temple head-on. After sensing his own cultivation, Mo Qingyun's face appeared as he thought about meeting the people of Qianyo Temple again. At that time, when the Golden-Eye Human Emperor and the others saw his strength, their expressions would be very interesting. Master, I'm so hungry. Is there anything to eat? While Mo Qingyun was pondering, the 5-colored heavenly crow's aggrieved voice sounded in his mind. Hearing the 5-colored heavenly crow's words, Mo Qingyun summoned it and prepared to find food for it to fill its stomach. The flame essence Holy Spirit solution has been refined. It's time to explore other secret realms and look for other cultivation resources. The moment this thought appeared in his mind, Mo Qingyun's figure flickered and he left the Fortune mainland with the 5-colored heavenly crow. What surprised Mo Qingyun was that when he returned to the path of stars, it was actually nighttime. Asterisk roar. Asterisk the moment Mo Qingyun appeared, he attracted the attention of the surrounding demonic beasts, and they rushed out from the sea of lava. Although these demonic beasts weren't particularly strong, only at the early true saint realm, they were still quite strong. Although they were not strong, there were too many of them. There were close to 1,000 of them. Looking at the rapidly approaching demonic beasts, Mo Qingyun's face tightened, and he prepared to leave this place as soon as possible. So much food. Just as Mo Qingyun was about to leave, the 5-colored heavenly crow on his shoulder was very excited, and it directly charged towards the demonic beasts. Seeing the five-colored heavenly crow's action, Mo Qingyun was startled, and he quickly chased after it. The five-colored heavenly crow was still in its infancy, and its current cultivation was only at the early true saint realm. With its current strength, it was too dangerous to face thousands of true saint realm demonic beasts. Heavenly Crow swallows the sun. Before Mo Qingyun's nervous gaze, the five-colored heavenly crow's body suddenly expanded at a rapid speed. In the blink of an eye, the five-colored heavenly crow's body had expanded by several thousand times. When the five-colored heavenly crow opened its mouth, a terrifying suction force erupted and swallowed all the demonic beasts. After swallowing all the demonic beasts, the five-colored heavenly crow's body began to shrink, returning to its original palm-sized body. Seeing this scene, even with Mo Qingyun's mentality, he was shocked. As expected of a divine beast from the Desolation era, the power of this divine ability was too overbearing. After swallowing nearly 1,000 demonic beasts in one gulp, the five-colored heavenly crow revealed a satisfied look, and it wobbled towards Mo Qingyun. "Master, I'm full. I want to sleep." Coming in front of Mo Qingyun, the five-colored heavenly crow rubbed its belly and made a cute gesture. Seeing the five-colored heavenly crow's appearance, Mo Qingyun didn't know whether to laugh or cry, and immediately kept it in his soul palace. This little guy was still in its growth stage, and its main task was to eat and sleep, and eat again after waking up. After keeping the five-colored heavenly crow in his soul palace, Missouri Qingyun no longer hesitated, and he began to fly out of the falling fire tribe. Because it was nighttime, Mo Qingyun didn't hurry, and he moved forward carefully. He had no choice. If he accidentally encountered a beast tide, he would be in a terrible situation. An hour later, under Mo Qingyun's careful travel, he left the falling fire tribe and returned to the top of the flame cliff. When Mo Qingyun arrived at the top of the flame cliff, he saw a group of people rushing towards him in panic. Chapter 2306. The cultivation of these people was not high. The strongest one was only at the intermediate stage of the false saint realm. With their strength, walking in the wilderness at night was indeed a dangerous thing. They asked Mo Qingyun for help. Perhaps they were in a panic and did not sense Mo Qingyun's cultivation. In their opinion, Mo Qingyun's strength should be very shocking since he could walk alone in the wilderness at night. Boom! 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 Not long after these people approached, a series of hurried footsteps chased after them. It was a group of wild dog demonic beasts with a single horn on their heads. The wild dog demonic beasts looked ferocious and agile. Although their cultivation was only at the quasi-saint realm, there were nearly 10,000 of them. Facing so many wild dog demonic beasts, these people were very lucky to be able to survive. Your cultivation is only. When Mo Qingyun was sizing up the wild dog demonic beasts, the old man at the intermediate stage of the false saint realm sensed Mo Qingyun's cultivation. When he learned of Mo Qingyun's cultivation, he showed grief and indignation and closed his eyes in despair. Looking at his performance, it seemed that he intended to give up resisting and let the wild dog demonic beasts kill him. There was no other way. They had no way out. What else could they do before they died? He is only at the 9th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. It seems that the heavens want us to die. Speaking of which, we have implicated him and caused him to suffer an unexpected disaster. When we entered the path of the Star River, I was already prepared. It's just that it came too quickly. When everyone discovered Mo Qingyun's cultivation, they all showed a desperate expression and were ready to die. Mo Qingyun did not pay attention to everyone's performance and walked towards the wild dog demonic beasts unhurriedly. When Mo Qingyun walked towards the wild dog demonic beasts, he took out the 81 saint swords and controlled them to deal with the wild dog demonic beasts. In his opinion, it was just a group of quasi-saint realm demonic beasts. It was not too troublesome to deal with them. What does he want to do? It seems that he wants to deal with the single-horned dragon dogs. Look, every single one of the weapons he took out is at least of the sacred grade. He has so many divine weapons. Could he be a genius of the heavenly constellation Dragonstone race? I don't think so. Everyone from the heavenly constellation Dragon Rock clan stays together. Very few of them train alone. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, everyone's curiosity was piqued, and they all started talking at the back. Just as everyone was puzzled, Mo Qingyun's figure leaped, controlling the sword formation to charge into the pack of single-horned dragon dogs. Chi. The single-horned dragon dog's resistance was futile against the onslaught of the Saint Grade longswords. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of them were killed. It couldn't be helped. With their strength and physical bodies, they couldn't block the attack of a Saint Grade weapon. Moreover, Mo Qingyun's sword formation had a cosmic cloud state weapon. Not to mention these unihorn dragon dogs. They only had the cultivation of the quasi-sage realm. Even if they had the cultivation of the sage realm, it would not be enough. In the blink of an eye, the corpses of the unihorn dragon dogs piled up around Mo Qingyun's body. Seeing such a scene, the people at the back were all stunned. They felt that their brains weren't enough to comprehend it. Mo Qingyun's combat power was too strong. It didn't seem like a nine-heaven abstruse immortal at all. In their understanding, even a Nebula Realm Master's combat power seemed to be at this level. Oh, after being slaughtered by Mo Qingyun, the wild dog beasts were finally scared. They whimpered and retreated. After defeating the wild dog demonic beast, Mo Qingyun didn't pay any attention to those people. He turned around and left. The blood chi here was too dense. It would attract a large group of beasts. He had to leave as soon as possible. Thank you for saving us, Senior. We can't thank you enough. When everyone saw that Mo Qingyun was about to leave, they immediately chased after Mo Qingyun and bowed respectfully. At this moment, Mo Qingyun was like a Nebula Realm Master in their eyes. No need to be so polite. It was just convenient. In response to everyone's gratitude, Mo Qingyun waved his hand indifferently and said, "Now that the demonic beasts have retreated, you can leave on your own." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone's expressions immediately tensed up. They looked at each other. They knew very well that without Mo Qingyun's protection, their lives would not be guaranteed. If they were unlucky, they might soon encounter a group of beasts and fall into a desperate situation again. They knew very well that only by following Mo Qingyun would they be able to keep their lives. "Senior, please wait a moment." Seeing that Mo Qingyun was about to turn and leave, the old man with the cultivation of the intermediate stage of the false sage realm immediately called out to Mo Qingyun. Hearing the old man's shout, Mo Qingyun stopped, turned his head to look at him, and asked, "Is there anything else?" Under Mo Qingyun's gaze, the old man showed a respectful expression and said, "Senior, we found a secret realm. With our strength, we can't enter it. I wonder if Senior is interested in exploring it." Oh, hearing the old man's words, Mo Qingyun showed interest and said, "The blood chi here is too strong. It will soon attract a large number of beasts. Let's find a place to sit down first and then slowly discuss the secret realm." Mo Qingyun was very clear about the old man's intention. The other party wanted to use this opportunity to keep him. Although he knew the other party's intention, Mo Qingyun no longer cared. He just wanted to know the situation of the secret realm. Then, Mo Qingyun and the others walked and chatted, looking for a safe place to stay. After chatting with these people, Mo Qingyun learned about their origin. They came from a place called the Green Bull Continent. This old man at the intermediate stage of the false sage realm was called Ji, and he was the sect master of these people. "Senior, are you from the Wild Continent?" After learning about Mo Qingyun's origin, Ji immediately showed a surprised expression, as if it was something very strange. Seeing Ji's reaction, Mo Qingyun was puzzled and asked, "Is there anything wrong with this?" "No." Ji immediately shook his head at Mo Qingyun's question and said, "We are just curious. We have always seen powerhouses from the Wild Continent exploring the path of the Star River but we have never seen anyone from the Wild Continent in the Dragonstone Galaxy. Dragonstone Galaxy? Hearing Kwang Ji's words, Qingyun's face showed curiosity, waiting for the other party to solve his doubts. Seeing Qingyun's expression, Kwang Ji was stunned at first. Then he understood Qingyun's thoughts and said, "The Dragonstone Galaxy is a cultivation area made up of many continents. The Heavenly Dipper Dragonstone clan is the ruler of this area, a supreme and powerful clan." Hearing Kwang Ji's words, Qingyun nodded. He was not unfamiliar with this. After these days of observation, he found that this so-called path of the Star River was just a place for the juniors of the Heavenly Dipper Dragonstone clan to gain experience. Chapter 2307. What is the current cultivation base of the strongest person in the Dragonstone Galaxy? Since he was going to confront the Sky Star Dragon Rock tribe, Qingyun had to know himself and his enemy in order to be undefeated. Kwang Ji frowned when he heard Qingyun's question. Senior, the strongest person in the Dragonstone Galaxy, is naturally the patriarch of the Sky Star Dragon Rock tribe. Rumor has it that he has reached the peak galaxy grade a long time ago. However, no one knows if he has broken through again. Peak galaxy grade? Qingyun's heart skipped a beat when he heard Kwang Ji's answer. For the current him, the strength of the Celestial Dragon Rockland's patriarch was indeed far beyond his reach. However, Qingyun didn't care too much about this. He believed that as long as he was given enough time, he might be able to fight it out with the patriarch. You just said that you couldn't find the Wild Continent in the Dragonstone Galaxy. What's going on? Recalling what Kwang Ji had said just now, Qingyun revealed a curious expression and asked Kwang Ji again. The Galaxy Path used to be a central passage in the Dragonstone Galaxy that connected all the continents in the Dragonstone Galaxy. However, it was severed for some reason. Although the Galaxy Path was severed from the continents, it would still connect to the various continents every once in a while. Eventually, it evolved into a training ground for the various continents. Logically speaking, anyone who can enter the Galaxy Path comes from the continents in the Dragonstone Galaxy. However, the Wild Continent is an exception. There is no such continent in the Dragonstone Galaxy today. As Qingyun listened, Kwang Ji told him everything he knew about the situation without missing a single detail. So that's how it is. After listening to Kwang Ji's explanation, Qingyun revealed a look of understanding. He was even more curious about this. It is said that the Wild Continent did exist in the Dragonstone Galaxy a long time ago. At this moment, Kwang Ji thought for a moment. His expression turned serious as he said, "However, a cultivation genius appeared in the Wild Continent. He was the previous civilization master of the Wild Continent. Rumor has it that he led the powerhouses of the Wild Continent to a confrontation with the Celestial Dragonstone race. However, he was defeated in the end. It seems that the Wild Continent disappeared from the Dragonstone Galaxy after that." Is there such a rumor? Hearing Kwang Ji's words, Qingyun's face immediately revealed a look of surprise. Kwang Ji shook his head and said, "Of course, this is just a rumor. We can't take it too seriously." Qingyun nodded. He didn't take Kwang Ji's rumor to heart. Too much time had passed since the Desolate Era, and many things could no longer be verified. They could only be regarded as conjectures. Qingyun and the others chatted as they walked. They entered a secluded valley and stopped moving forward. This place should be relatively safe. Let's stay here for the time being. Qingyun instructed everyone when they arrived at the valley. Then he sat down cross-legged. Everyone stopped and sat down beside Qingyun when they heard Qingyun's instructions. Kwang Ji and the others sat down cross-legged. Those who were seriously injured immediately started cultivating to recover from their injuries. By the way, I heard you say that you discovered a secret realm. Tell me more about it. Qingyun asked Kwang Ji and the others about the secret realm after they sat down in the valley. Kwang Ji did not dare to hide anything when he heard Qingyun's question. He immediately told Qingyun about the secret realm. Senior, the secret realm we discovered is called the Cyan Lightning Sacred Mountain. It is the homeland of a tribe called the Cyan Lightning Demonic Flood Dragon. The Cyan Lightning Demonic Flood Dragon is a very powerful tribe. It is rumored that there was a galaxy-grade expert in their tribe. They even fought against the Heavenly Dragon Rock tribe. Unfortunately, they were exterminated. However, although the Cyan Lightning Demonic Flood Dragon tribe was exterminated, the whereabouts of their tribe's treasure, the Cyan Lightning Spiritual Pearl, were unknown. Cyan Lightning Spiritual Pearl? Mo Qingyun's eyes lit up. He was curious about the Cyan Lightning Spiritual Pearl. He waited for Quang Ji to continue. Under Mo Qingyun's expectant gaze, Quang Ji's words did not stop as he continued. It is said that although the might of the Cyan Thunder Spiritual Bead is only comparable to an ordinary galaxy-grade magic treasure, it is still a grand mist spiritual treasure. It has an incomparably wonderful effect on people who cultivate the Thunder Laws. Grand Mist Spiritual Treasure. After hearing Quang Ji's words, Mo Qingyun's expression became excited. He looked forward to the Cyan Lightning Spiritual Pearl even more. According to Quang Ji, the Cyan Lightning Spiritual Pearl should not be an offensive magic treasure. Instead, it should be an auxiliary magic treasure. If he obtained the Grand Mist Spiritual Pearl, it should be of great help to his cultivation of the wild lightning dragon source tyrant body. I will definitely find a way to find this Cyan Lightning Spiritual Pearl. Mo Qingyun clenched his fists and secretly made up his mind. He was determined to obtain the Cyan Lightning Spiritual Pearl. If he obtained the Cyan Lightning Spiritual Pearl, it would not only be helpful to him, but also to the Fortune Immortal Palace. After that, Mo Qingyun chatted with Quang Ji for a while. After that, he did not ask any more questions. Quang Ji had basically told him everything he knew. There was no point in asking any more questions. After telling Mo Qingyun everything he knew, Quang Ji started to cultivate and heal his injuries. Chapter 2308. After observing his surroundings briefly, Mo Qingyun carefully walked up the Cyan Lightning Sacred Mountain. During this period, he encountered a few waves of demonic beasts, but he easily avoided them. They did not stop him from moving forward. Not long after, Mo Qingyun arrived halfway up the mountain and saw some abandoned houses. It seemed that these abandoned houses should have been where the Cyan Lightning Demon Flood Dragon tribe used to live. After glancing at the abandoned houses, Mo Qingyun continued to walk up the Cyan Lightning Sacred Mountain. After Mo Qingyun walked for a while, the scene of an intense battle appeared in front of him. There were some corpses of demonic beasts and some human corpses in the place of the battle. Someone arrived before me. Seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun frowned and immediately guessed a possibility. After a short moment of surprise, Mo Qingyun immediately sped up and thought to himself, judging from the scene of the battle, those people should not have gone far. I have to catch up quickly to prevent them from taking the initiative. When Mo Qingyun chased after them, he also became vigilant and thought about how to deal with the people in front of him. The demonic beasts that were killed were all very powerful. Most of them were above the middle stage of the true sage realm. A force that could easily kill these demonic beasts could not be underestimated. Immediately, Mo Qingyun carefully walked up the Cyan Lightning Sacred Mountain with a vigilant heart. As Mo Qingyun continued to move forward, more and more demonic beasts died along the way, and their strength became stronger and stronger. It seems that the person killing the demonic beasts in front is most likely from the Heavenly Dipper Dragon Rock tribe. Seeing that even the demonic beasts at the peak of the true sage realm had been killed, Mo Qingyun vaguely guessed the person in front of him. Although he knew who the person in front of him was, Mo Qingyun did not retreat and continued to move forward. He was determined to obtain the Cyan Lightning Spiritual Pearl. About an hour later, as Mo Qingyun continued to move forward, he saw several waves of people in front of him. The people from the Heavenly Dipper Dragon Rock tribe were among them. However, This wave of Big Dipper Dragon Rock tribesmen wasn't particularly strong. The strongest one was only an early-stage cosmic cloud state. It was Shurchio. It's him. After recognizing Shurchio, Mo Qingyun narrowed his eyes and thought about how to deal with him. After glancing at Shurchio and the others, Mo Qingyun looked away and looked at the others. The strength of these people was not weak. Even when compared to the Chionyo Temple, there was not the slightest bit of difference. At this moment, these people were all in a very sorry state. There were many injuries on their bodies as they carefully opened up a path in front. From the looks of it, the demonic beasts on the mountainside were killed by them together. Noticing these people in front of him, Mo Qingyun did not disturb them. He silently followed behind them. There is still a long way to go from here to the top of the mountain. If Mo Qingyun wanted to force his way up, it would be very difficult. Hence, the best choice was to let these people open up the path first, while Mo Qingyun followed behind and enjoyed the fruits of their labor. With Shurchio and the others leading the way, Mo Qingyun easily arrived at the top of the mountain. When they arrived at the top of the mountain, they saw a sea of lightning that covered the entire mountain. It said that the entrance to the blue lightning illusion is in this sea of lightning. The blue lightning spirit bead of the blue lightning devil dragon race has been missing. It might be in the blue lightning illusion. Whether it is or not, we have to go in and explore. If we get it, we will earn big. Looking at the sea of lightning at the top of the mountain, the people of the various forces were excited. Their eyes were full of anticipation. Seeing the reaction of these forces, Shurchio said in disdain, "You can leave now. As for entering the blue lightning illusion to search for treasures, it has nothing to do with you." Upon hearing Shurchio's words, the people from the various forces were shocked. When Shurchio asked them to come here, he didn't promise them like this. Shurchio had promised them that they would be in charge of leading the way and they would enter the blue lightning illusion together. Now that they had fulfilled their promise, Shurchio wanted to go back on his words. This was too much. "Master Shurchio, that's not what you said. When we cleared the demonic beasts that were blocking the way, we paid a great price. How do we let them go just like that?" "That's right. You are too much. How can you go back on your words?" Everyone was angry and expressed their dissatisfaction. Seeing the reaction of the people in front of him, Shurchio's face darkened. He curled his lips in disdain and said, "A group of ants. How dare you bargain with us? Letting you leave alive is the greatest gift to you. If you don't want to leave, you can stay here forever." "You." Hearing Shurchio's words, the people's faces darkened and they were furious. Although they were furious, they didn't dare to take action. They could only stare at Shurchio and the others. They knew very well that if they dared to make a move, what awaited them next would be a calamity of annihilation. The people from the Big Dipper Dragon Rock clan are really overbearing. Seeing the actions of Shurchio and the others, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but sigh. He sympathized with the few forces. They had worked so hard to open the way for Shurchio and the others, but in the end, they didn't get any benefits. Chapter 2309. What's that kid trying to do? Could it be that he wants to barge into the sea of lightning? A kid at the 9th level of the 9 Heavens mysterious immortal realm wants to pass through before the eyes of Shur-Yi and Shur-Yun. He's simply courting death. Even if he passes through, he'll still die once he enters the azure lightning illusory realm with his cultivation. Everyone was shocked when they noticed Mo Qingyun's shocking actions, and they expressed disdain towards Mo Qingyun at the same time. As far as they were concerned, Mo Qingyun's current actions were no different than courting death. Along with Mo Qingyun swiftly approaching, Shur-Yi and Shur-Yun, who were guarding the entrance, noticed his actions as well. Isn't this the kid that was lucky enough to escape from fiery Qilin City that day? I never imagined that he's actually still alive. This kid's life is rather tenacious. We let him escape last time, but it might not be the case this time. When Shur-Yi and Shur-Yun noticed Mo Qingyun, they recognized Mo Qingyun, and a cold smile appeared on their faces. They were confident that with their cultivations, it was too easy to deal with Mo Qingyun. Shi and Shi Yun's figures flashed and arrived before Mo Qingyun, and they blocked Mo Qingyun's path. Kid, we were worried about being unable to find you. I never imagined that you would take the initiative to deliver yourself to us. After blocking Mo Qingyun's path, Shi revealed a cold smile, and his eyes were filled with ridicule. After Shi spoke, Shi Yun similarly revealed a cold smile and said, "We allowed you to rely on the totem spirit to escape in fiery Qilin City that day. There aren't any totem spirits here, so obediently accept your death." As soon as Shi and Shi Yun finished speaking, they split into two and flanked Mo Qingyun from two directions. As he watched their actions, Mo Qingyun smiled with disdain, and he emanated a strand of battle intent as he said, "I've broken through in my cultivation recently, and I was worried about finding someone to practice with. Your strengths are just right, so I'll use the two of you to familiarize myself with my strength." Shameless boasting. Hearing Mo Qingyun's arrogant words, Shi and the others' faces darkened. They immediately rushed towards Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun did not retreat in the face of Shi Yi's attack. Instead, he took the initiative to meet Shi head-on. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, the surrounding people were all stunned. They couldn't understand Mo Qingyun at all. In their opinion, with Mo Qingyun's cultivation level, facing the encirclement of the Shi duo, he should have chosen to escape. However, not only did Mo Qingyun not run for his life, but he also rushed towards Shi and the other man, as if he wanted to fight them. This was a little too abnormal. They weren't naive enough to think that Mo Qingyun's actions were because he was crazy. His face was filled with anger as he roared, "Boy, I will tear you into pieces and feed you to the dogs. You're just an ant." Looking at Shi Yun, who was attacking him, Mo Qingyun smiled disdainfully and a ray of light flashed in his eyes. Then, two rays of imposing I-force shot out from Mo Qingyun's eyes. I superpower, this boy still has such a trump card. Facing the sudden attack of the I-force, Shi Yun was so frightened that he was fuming with anger. His face was filled with fear. Although Shi Yun was terrified, he knew very well that it was too late for him to dodge. Puff! The I-force flashed and instantly blasted into Shi Yun's sea of consciousness, causing serious damage to his primordial spirit. After being bombarded by the I-force, Shi Yun's face turned pale, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. After using the yin-yang dual pupil to injure Shi Yun, Mo Qingyun's attack did not slow down, and he continued to chase after Shi Yun. When Mo Qingyun was chasing after Shi Yun, he took out the tiger soul and slashed at Shi Yun. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, everyone was shocked as though they had seen something terrifying. What is this boy trying to do? Is he trying to kill Shi Yun? The Big Dipper Dragon Rock clan is very protective. If they know that their junior was killed, they will go crazy. For the past 10 million years, no one in the Dragonstone Galaxy has dared to kill a member of the Big Dipper Dragon Rock clan openly. I don't think he has the guts to do so. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, everyone was shocked. However, they did not believe that Mo Qingyun would really kill someone. They knew very well that if they killed a junior from the Big Dipper Dragon Rock clan, the consequences would be terrible. Rising Dragon Heavenly Blade. Under everyone's shocked gazes, Mo Qingyun slashed out with his saber, blasting out a golden dragon-shaped saber light. The golden dragon shadow saber radiance blasted out and turned into a golden streamer, smashing towards Shi Yun overbearingly. Bang! After being hit by the dragon shadow saber light, Shi Yun was immediately sent flying, and he fainted for a moment. After sending Shi Yun flying, Mo Qingyun did not stop there. He continued to chase after Shi Yun. Mo Qingyun's figure flashed a few times, and he arrived in front of Shi Yun. He slashed his saber at Shi Yun's neck. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, Shi Yun finally panicked. He felt that death was approaching. You want to kill me? Shi Yun was a genius junior from the Big Dipper Dragon Rock clan. He had never thought that someone would dare to kill him one day. He had to admit that Mo Qingyun's action had really frightened him. In his panic, Shi Yun's face turned as white as paper. He said in a panic, I'm a junior from the Big Dipper Dragon Rock clan. If you kill me, the Big Dipper Dragon Rock clan will not let you go. If you leave now, I'll write off what happened today. How about it? Oof. Chapter 23:11. You killed Shi Yun. He sucked in a breath of cold air when he saw Shi Yun's soul being destroyed under Mo Qingyun's attack. He did not expect that not only did Mo Qingyun kill Shi Yun, but he also destroyed Shi Yun's spiritual soul. He did not leave any leeway for Shi Yun. Of course, at the same time as he was shocked, he was also afraid. Since Mo Qingyun dared to kill Shi Yun, he would definitely kill him too. Run! With this thought in mind, Shi did not dare to hesitate and immediately fled towards the center of the Thunder Sea. In his opinion, if he continued to stay, he would end up like Shi Yun. Do you think you can escape? Seeing Shi Yi's action, Mo Qingyun smiled disdainfully. His eyes were full of mockery as he said, Since I have already killed one, I don't mind killing another. You can go and die with him. After saying that, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and chased after Shi. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, the surrounding people were all stunned and their faces changed. He wants to kill Shi too. This guy is crazy. Shi and Shi Yun can only admit defeat when they encounter such a crazy person. There is no one guarding the entrance of the green lightning mirage. Should we follow them in? No. We have to leave as soon as possible so that we won't be implicated. That's right. Let's leave immediately so that the Big Dipper Dragon Rock clan won't blame us. The people from the various forces discussed for a while before they left. When they left, Mo Qingyun chased after Shi and entered the green lightning mirage. Yin-yang pupils. After chasing Shi into the green thunder illusion, Mo Qingyun's eyes flashed with a dim light. Two sharp beams shot out of his eyes. The two rays of light shot out and blasted into Shi Yi's sea of consciousness, causing damage to his physical body and primordial spirit. With his primordial spirit and physical body severely injured, Shi Yi's speed of escape immediately slowed down. As Shi Yi's speed slowed down, Mo Qingyun immediately appeared in front of him, blocking his path. Mo Qingyun, don't go too far. It won't do you any good to become enemies with my heavenly Star Dragon Rock clan. Seeing that his path was blocked, Shi revealed a terrified expression. He said in a helpless tone, You have already entered the azure lightning illusion. You have already achieved your goal. Why do you have to kill me? Shi had no choice but to admit defeat. He could clearly feel that the life force of his primordial spirit and body was rapidly weakening. If he didn't find a place to cultivate immediately, he would slowly die of old age even before Mo Qingyun did anything to him. Do you think there's still room for reconciliation between me and the heavenly Star Dragon Rock clan after I kill Shi Yun? Mo Qingyun wasn't so naive as to think that the enmity between him and the Big Dipper Dragon Rock clan could be written off.